Welcome to Sports and Stogies. Now, introducing your hosts, Cameron Winkowitz and Austin Hayes.
I know both of you have already.
Like 9 episodes in?
9 episodes, have been listening every chance that I get.
That's how I was.
It's the best podcast that I've listened to in I don't know how long.
Second place.
Are we on?
We are on.
Okay, so give us the full title then so the viewers out there know.
It's called Crooked City.
But make sure you go to the one that's specifically, they have a couple different ones. It's Youngstown. Jim Trafficant, baby.
So if you guys listen, if you're OG listeners, you've heard us when we interviewed Steve and Jamie up in Youngstown and Hubbard. We got a brief history of what I didn't know was any kind of
Mahoning County,
a mob
baby.
hub right there between Cleveland and Pittsburgh. So there's a whole podcast that Shane has finally got into about the long-running mob history in Youngstown.
Which I believe we listened to in the OCM main event. It was that time frame. So June, July, something like that. June.
Yeah, I listened to mine on the way, from Medina, which I think was a July event.
Yeah.
I just I didn't realize that all of this was this close to where we're living, like right now.
Yeah.
You don't think Ohio is like big-time mob territory.
No.
But then you forget how close we are to Pittsburgh.
And also like the Great Lakes.
Yeah.
A lot of business happens out there.
Yeah. I think the craziest part of the whole thing is just Jim Trafficant in general.
Yeah, dude. Wild man.
Like, absolutely insane.
Still, probably, the guys at Cigar said he was basically like Robin Hood.
For a small steel town in Ohio? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they told us that like a year ago.
Yeah.
So he's still pretty revered in the town.
Yeah, and he literally was Robin Hood. Because
He was Robin the Hood. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey-oh.
No, but when Bill Clinton made the promises that he would invest in the area and then didn't, Jim Trafficant made him.
Yeah.
That is
I did not
insane.
make those promises to that city.
Oh, but he did. And Jim reminded him about it very, very, very strongly.
Yeah, again, by far the best podcast that I've ever listened to, at least. And I dabble.
Second place.
Well, I don't count this. I'm on this show.
I told Shane that. I said, second best podcast you've ever heard. And then he was like,
I haven't heard him. He doesn't listen.
yeah, exactly.
No,
And then he said, no, dude, Sports and Stogies is in my top 4. I said, what, 5 minutes?
Top 4?
Yeah.
First Spotify rap that was in the top 4.
Let's see. Behind JRE.
Yes.
Matt and Shane.
Yes.
Stavi's World.
No.
No?
No.
Oh, you go Matt and Shane, Spotify? Oh, dude, YouTube's where it's at. Video is actually, it adds to it
Does it really?
at moments.
I just do it on Spotify because it's a lot easier. And then
Background, everything.
Yeah.
And then the third one. Is Theo on Spotify?
He is.
So.
Yeah.
Obvious.
5 with Stavi's World.
Yeah, I don't do Spotify, so I didn't get our whole rap thing this year.
I haven't even looked at it.
Oh, you didn't want to go post yours as soon as it's out there
I don't
and see.
care. I don't even care what I'm listening to.
You know what's funny? How everybody's top 1% of their favorite artist.
Yeah.
Like, you can't all be top 1% of Taylor Swift.
No.
That's just impossible.
Well, the 1% of Taylor Swift is rather vast.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they can't all be 1%.
Uh,
I've not seen anything posted lower than 1% of anybody.
the lowest one I've seen was 0.01%.
Like, I haven't seen, I'm top 97% of Metallica. I dabble here and there. Like, no, it's all, the absolute top of the top.
Yeah.
I think it's because they only show you, the highest. I don't think they show your percentages for anything else.
In that case, that makes sense. I take it back.
Because it wouldn't make sense for them to show me, you're in the top 50% of Nirvana listeners or something. I'd be like, okay, cool.
Nirvana was up there?
I think Nirvana was up there for me.
How do you feel about that?
We've gone over that. He's one of his favorite bands. I think they made your top 5.
Yeah, they did.
So they should be in your top 5 wrapped.
They are.
Now, what else, I wonder? I don't really know Shane's. We don't talk music that much.
We talked about them a
I don't
lot
think
last
there's
week.
much more bands.
Is Journey? Is Journey in there?
They are not.
No.
No.
Not a classic rock guy.
Now, Journey was on your list.
Journey's definitely on my list.
Dude, we were in a heated argument about them literally last week.
Is Nirvana the oldest group or artist on that list?
They're probably not much older than this other one. If they are at
We had an
all.
argument about them.
Yes.
Is it a rock band?
Yes.
Oh, Foo Fighters. You love the Foos. They're definitely on there.
They are on there.
But
But
they're
there's
post
one more.
Nirvana. So one more band pre-Nirvana.
I don't even know what argument we had last week. Was it on the show?
No, before the show. I had asked you to do something with me.
Oh, the Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
I should have known that. That was definitely on your list.
Yeah. And then
What was the argument?
Because he wanted to go to Salt Lake City
Oh, yeah.
so I could see Kid Cudi.
You could see 5 songs of Kid Cudi.
Yeah.
And he could watch the Peppers.
Yes.
Yeah, I should have known that. And then the other
I don't hate
two,
the Peppers. I'm just not interested. If I want to see Kid Cudi, I'm going to see Kid Cudi.
Other two were Post Malone and I forget who else was on there.
you're not a big,
Kendrick Lamar?
not a big bro country
Big Kendrick
guy.
Lamar
are you?
guy?
I think Zach Bryan might have cracked in at 5.
I could see that.
I think he might have.
He's exploded here.
No, Noah Khan did.
Honestly, don't know who that is.
He's like a folky country kind of guy.
Like I should definitely know him then.
He's doing this one festival me and Michaela tried to get tickets to. He's doing it with like Chris Stapleton, Hosier.
Oh, I seen that listed. Yeah, I forget which one it was though.
It's in Kentucky or something. It's pretty close, but we looked at tickets and they were sold out in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, anything Stapleton goes like immediately.
Got to
Yeah.
go straight to resale.
Yeah. Well, we looked again, and then tickets for 2 days, like
Festivals are super expensive in general.
well,
Man,
2 days
it's
was only
too much,
$250.
man. Like, I can do 2 days, but like they just announced the one in Columbus,
Sonic Temple.
Sonic Temple. It's like 4 days now.
It is, and the thing that sucks about it is because there's people that I want to go see every single day, but I don't want to be there all day, every
Yeah.
single day.
Just put all, you could just make all those bands we want to see into like 1.5 days.
That's like what's the metal concert they do every year, the big one?
Incarceration.
Yeah.
Up north, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
always that Saturday has all of the headliners. So if you want to go, you normally just go for that Saturday.
Yeah. But this year, I mean, it's a great, like, if you were to take all the headliners, it would probably be the best show you could see, like, for hard rock. But every day is, like, 2 or 3 really big ones, and then a bunch of people you probably never
Which are
heard of.
probably still really good.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah, festival wise, typically I want to go see the bands that aren't headlining because you don't really get a chance a whole lot. They don't really play a ton of solo shows, but they can get on the festival circuit as like the third stage band.
Yeah.
Like if I'm going to go see Tool, I'm just going to go see Tool when they tour
Yeah.
solo. I don't want to see a Tool festival set. If I see some band from England that only plays over there except festivals, then yeah, I'm going to go see them at 2 p.m. on the third stage and be front row.
that makes sense.
Well, I told you guys about this. My buddy's band was at Sonic Temple last year, and, I mean, they're really, really good.
Why doesn't he just get you tickets?
This year?
Yeah.
It's not like they're like the main band that
They're not
just
returning.
handing out. I don't know if they are or not. He said they
They
probably
can't
will.
get tickets?
No,
I feel like any band playing should be able to get tickets, at least some.
You would think a handful.
I don't think they didn't even get paid. I don't think.
Dude, just go be a roadie then. You're on the
Yeah.
road crew, then you're automatically in and you're backstage.
I
Yeah,
could.
he's your buddy.
He's my buddy, but like he said that there's
Dude, we'll all
nothing-
three roadie.
There's nothing crazy that happens. Like they don't get to meet any of the big guys. Like no,
No,
one,
I don't care about that. I'm at Sonic Temple for free.
And on stage.
Sonic Temple's not that expensive.
Yeah, but it's free.
I don't care if it's
Shane.
$5. If it's
$0 is better than
That
$1.
is true. That is true.
Does your music taste line up with Michaela's?
Yes,
Do you think music taste matters in a relationship?
absolutely it does. Yes,
It can't conflict, right?
No,
If
no.
we're in the car and I can't play Slayer ever, and I got to sit through Taylor Swift, there might be a problem there.
Don't say sit through Taylor Swift like that.
Everyone
She has a
enjoys a
few
little
bangers.
T-Swift.
I'll give her that. That's just the first thing that came to my mind.
No, because like it makes being in the car a little less enjoyable if you're listening to music you don't like.
Or if I'm playing something I know she doesn't like.
Yeah, like she's not getting into it.
Yeah.
No.
Me and Shaylee have just been bumping Creed and Three Doors Down in prep for the
That's
concert.
all you need right there.
Is Daughtry
So-
still doing that?
I don't think that one's.
I don't think
Daughtry.
we know yet.
I thought Daughtry was supposed to do it.
I know Daughtry's doing some. I don't know if Daughtry's doing the one in Riverbend.
Either way, I mean, that'd be dope, but Creed and 3DD is all you need right there.
It is.
Maybe
You
they'll have
got your,
Kid Cudi open. Who knows?
Dude, that'd be dope. I go to Utah City for that. Or Salt Lake City, whatever they're playing.
We've been looking to see if Deftones is going to tour again.
Probably the summertime.
That's what we're thinking,
I
but
think they
like
just announced one now.
no,
Or soon they will, I'm sure.
they're usually at Sonic Temple, so like we were just gonna look for them because that's the one that she really wants to see the most. But they're not even doing anything right now.
Yeah, they were with Gojira like 2 years ago in Riverbend, and I missed it.
Well, and then
Idiot.
Beartooth was supposed to be doing something around here too.
They're the two-piece, right?
Yeah,
They got a huge sound of just two guys. It's pretty impressive.
I'd love to see the Who, the Mongolian throat singers.
Oh, I was gonna say like the Who.
I was thinking like
they're
the
half
old
dead.
rock band.
Yeah, no, HU.
Yeah,
the throat singer
HU,
guys. That's
yeah.
they're pretty cool
That's so cool.
and super unique.
Yeah. And I know that sometimes they have one like featuring Papa Roach. So if he would go on tour too, he does the English version of their song. So like they're playing the same music and he's just full English telling you what the words are. And it's pretty dope.
He meaning Papa Roach.
Yeah. The lead singer of Papa Roach.
Okay, I was gonna, as long as you knew that Papa Roach wasn't a,
Yeah, it's a
one
band,
guy's
I know that.
title.
One guy.
It's like, yo, dude, like you got Kid Rock. I'm Papa Roach, dude.
Yeah. No, it's the lead singer. I don't know his name.
No, if Shane had said that, I would have believed. He totally thought.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you ever heard this new guy, Pink Floyd? Guy's awesome, dude. Really psychedelic.
That was one band I just couldn't get into.
I've tried. I respect the hell out of them.
Yeah, they're good
But
for what they
they're
are.
Too psychedelic for me. Maybe I
And I
just need
know-
to drop acid and try it again.
I've heard their shows are phenomenal.
Oh, legendary. And even
who-
the tribute band, like
Yeah.
Brit Floyd, sells out everywhere they go, like in minutes. But just not really my thing.
I mean, I don't mind it. It's not like I could ever be like a hardcore fan, but like I can definitely listen to some of their classics. You know what I mean?
They definitely don't annoy me.
No. Like
Right.
I'm never going to be mad if someone throws on Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
I can't really think of a whole lot of like classic rock that I'd be like, can we turn this off?
I think we saved this for the One Too Many show.
I was gonna say we
'Cause
got
hopefully you
got to reel this in.
We
We
boys.
should
do.
have a bunch of music questions, I hope. Because when I'm drinking, especially, me and Shane will talk music for 7 hours straight.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I've gotten any music questions,
There's plenty of time.
at least from the fans.
Yeah.
Come up with some.
Don't tell me how to host my show.
Got that look in your eye right now.
What just made you so mad about that?
Don't tell me how to host my show, bud.
We just said that we wanted to talk
He's trying to
about
be.
music.
He's trying to produce something.
So,
Don't tell me how to host my show.
He's trying to be a producer, dude. Executively.
We're gonna nip that in the bud,
Dude.
right there.
we were just talking about how we want to talk about music.
All right. On that note, go ahead and pull up that chair
Pour up that drink.
Light that cigar.
because it's time for episode 66 of Sports and Stogies. Cam.
Shane,
What's up?
no, I was swinging it to you. That was Austin says Cam, and then I swung it to you to try and do something different.
I think he couldn't. He dropped the ball.
You 100%
that
just
pass.
dropped it, dude.
Kadarius Toney over here just
That was
dropped
a
that ball.
perfect
he didn't.
spiral.
He didn't drop it this time.
He dropped plenty that game.
you did.
though.
He did.
That was a perfect spiral touchdown pass. Game winner.
That was a flea flicker. You handed it off to me. I threw it back. You got Shane wide open downfield. Perfect dime.
Quentin Johnston-esque.
That's an insult right there.
That's a little too far.
The Johnston Meister.
Give us some promo here, Shane.
Go ahead and find us anywhere you listen to your podcast. That is Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube Music, and then all social medias at Sports and Stogies. That's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok,
I'm sorry, what was the third one?
And YouTube
and YouTube.
X.
I said that.
Nah, come on now. You gotta give in.
I think you basically said the equivalent of like MySpace, where it's just not a thing anymore.
No, but when you type Twitter into like the thing to open the app, it still pops up.
Or you can just type an X.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, it's still definitely kind of
Allegedly.
Twitter.
That's AI. If you don't have an AI phone, you need to type X.
Anything else, Shane?
I think that's it.
No more promo?
No?
We'll promo some shops here. A lot of great Christmas deals going on. Make sure you check out Tip Top Smoke Emporium and tiptopsmoke.com.
Yeah, would they say the 18 days before Christmas sales?
Something like that, yeah.
Leading up to.
Tons of great stock there. Anything you guys want for either yourself or to give as gifts.
And I believe you can check that out. I don't know. Did we share that on the show page?
I think you did. Maybe
I know I shared it on my personal page.
If not, when the show drops Thursday, we'll put all these events out
But
there.
yeah, we'll
because,
definitely share the deals.
big 12-day Christmas event at B&G's, which I stopped into yesterday. They have
Which
12
I know that
different
is shared
baskets.
on the
set
show
up.
page.
One for each day. If you spend every $15 you spend, you get a ticket, which you can put in any day's basket. Then at the end, all tickets will be available for the grand prize, which is at least $1,000 value, if not more. There's one $500 gorgeous My Father humidor.
Ooh.
I mean, just pretty as can be. There's an LFD Andalusian Bull wall piece that would look great right here in the studio.
It would.
So yeah, check those guys out. And of course, Casa Aficionado, Cigaro, with the humidor in Newark.
Yes.
And I'm trying to think the place in Medina. Havana's Choice?
Yeah.
I believe. Havana's Choice. Wherever you guys want to get your Christmas gifts last minute.
Yeah, I'm sure Cigaro's got bangers. I know they have a Christmas party coming up.
Naturally, which I'd love to go to.
Yeah, we have to work.
And we're due for a trip.
Yeah, and we need to get some dates sent out to them. I'm thinking probably March.
Because you've not been back, right?
No.
I went over this. Well, actually, by this point, it wasn't even summertime. It was like February.
Yeah, I'm
last
thinking
year.
like March. Probably get out there and do another new interview, especially with Dan Cheese.
Stock up on some periodicals.
Get some periodicos.
And then come the end of the month, I'll be ordering something pretty special, both for myself and for the show,
Heyo.
that I think you can pretty much only get at Cigaro. At least from what I've seen at shops in Ohio. So a little tease there for you guys.
I don't even know what that could be.
Exactly.
I mean, it could be anything. Are we getting our own Indian, dude?
No, that'd be cool though.
Those
You
things
can
are
find
so
those,
cool,
You can find
man.
those pretty much everywhere.
Or one of those Sasquatches. I'd love to have one of those.
One of these days, I'll win a raffle at Casa and get a sock of Squatch.
Did you just ask, are we getting our own Indian dude?
He did. I was going to let it go.
That's what
This
they
cigar
are.
store Indian.
Yeah.
But you can make the case it's like we're getting an Indian dude.
That's what I thought you meant.
No, you didn't.
And there was a comma dude. It wasn't an Indian dude. It was Indian comma dude.
It definitely sounded like you said Indian dude.
Do you want your own Indian dude?
Maybe.
No.
Whoa.
There was definitely a comma. Because I don't talk that fast.
I didn't hear a comma.
Cam is a notorious slow talker.
I didn't hear a comma.
Well, you can't hear commas as
I
punctuation.
didn't hear a pause. I
Oh,
heard
there was.
we could get
There
our own
was.
Indian dude.
Yeah, well, we know your hearing's not the best. Especially
Take your beanie off, dude.
Especially because it's muffled right now because you do have your beanie on.
Dude, it's comfortable. You complimented this beanie when I came in.
No, I like the hat.
Thank you.
Just doesn't make sense to have
the
your
most
ears
efficient with
covered
with
when you have
headphones
headphones on.
I can still hear everything though.
Yeah, but you even said it sounded weird before we
Tested.
tested.
Yeah, but I've
So-
gotten used to it.
Well, I want to hear what Cam is puffing on this fine evening.
I have the SP 1014 Black, and Sanj Patel just wraps magic into these cigars.
Knocks it out of the park with everyone.
They're so good every time. Red, black, yellow, all of them. They're
Industry
all
killer.
delicious. Industry killer, which is exactly that. I mean, they are just phenomenal cigars, and this is probably from Tip Top.
It is from Tip Top, and then spent, I don't know exactly how long, in Michael Zimmer's humidor. So
Oh,
it's
this
a
is a
nice,
gift from MZ.
fine age on there.
He said, you know what? I'm getting sick and tired of this guy talking about the magic toast. Here's some real magic.
He said he's out of room in the humidor.
He's got, 500 count?
I believe so.
But he does keep full
But
boxes.
he has
though,
boxes.
so.
Yeah, he's got quite the collection. Do you have the info on that?
No,
I don't think Sanj puts out a lot of blend
No,
info.
yeah, I don't think so.
actually,
But I know it's really good. Anything Sanj Patel will not let you down.
for the price especially. Can't
Yeah.
beat it.
And Tip Top always has them in stock. So
Again, I'm pretty sure Tip Top is like at least relatively locally, the only
one
place
of few.
to get those.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want them, go on tiptopsmoke.com.
Very good. Any SP 1014 will not do you wrong. And then, like you said, the industry killer, delicious.
A $25 stick for literally $6.
Yeah. It's unreal.
Now, I also have a gift from Mr. Michael Zimmer, who is not a listener, but gets a lot of shout-outs.
He does.
The Oliva Serie V, this is the Churchill, which is a 7x52. It's an Ecuadorian wrapper and Nicaraguan binder and filler. Again, not sure how long it was in the humidor, but aged perfectly. Just a nice, gorgeous, oily wrapper. Excellent burn so far. Great draw. Oliva Serie V Milanio is in my top 10 all time.
I was gonna say I thought you had one of the Oliva Series
This is
V's
pretty much just the
more
different
recent.
shape. I think the blend's the exact
Yeah.
same. But yeah, phenomenal stick. I was long overdue for another one, so nice to get a nice gift. A freebie especially goes a long way.
Mike's the man.
We're pairing that with maybe your number one favorite bourbon.
Definitely my favorite sipper. Go to Woodford Reserve Double Oaked. Delicious. We talked about it last week. Woodford being great starter. Double Oaked, you could probably go more into that close to intermediate kind of level. It's delicious.
But even your aficionados love this.
Yeah, it's so good.
As far as shelf bottles go, it's unanimously beloved. It's 90.2 proof, and the mash bill, same as regular Woodford. 72% corn, 18% rye, 10% malted barley. And the second barrel they age it in is why it's called double oaked. It's deeply toasted and then lightly charged, and then charred, and then aged for, I think, a year after that in the second barrel.
Could be charged.
You never know.
It's so good. This stuff is electric. So
And definitely the
Shane,
best
what are you
under
puffing
100 proof bourbon out there, in my mind.
What are you puffing on, Shane?
A nice
Nothing.
sexy vape.
No, you got something. What is that there?
I don't know what you're talking about, dude.
I see it in your journal pocket.
There's nothing in that journal
I've
pocket.
seen you smack your vape numerous times. Well, just tell the fans what you're puffing on, dude. It's not that weird. It's fine.
No, but it's everything about it.
Just go ahead.
No,
What do you mean by everything about it?
well, your boy likes a good deal. So
Okay.
I'm smoking on one of them bargain sticks right now.
Is that a fact?
It is.
What is it?
It's called a North Bar.
A North Bar.
I'm not familiar with that brand, actually.
No,
What
no.
flavor?
Is it
Mint?
Dominican?
Mint, yeah.
Mint North Bar for
Huh.
Shane.
So like the Java mint from Drew Estates is kind of flavored with some mintiness.
Yeah.
Similar kind of smoke to that.
Yeah, dude. Really similar to that.
How's it pair with the bourbon there?
I haven't had a sip of the bourbon yet,
Well,
but
dive right in. Let us know what you think. This is your first experience with Woodford Double Oaked.
really smooth.
And only 90 proof. Yeah, you definitely get that heavy oak influence, brown sugar, caramel, vanilla, little citrus note, little floral. I know when we toured the distillery, they gave us like a tasting card,
Yeah.
and there's like 200 things
Man.
on there. And like even the best of the best, there's no way you actually
That
differentiate.
distillery tour
that many
was
different
so
notes.
phenomenal.
I definitely got like the citrusy stuff, but it doesn't taste like caramel to me. Or at least that sip didn't.
No, again, for me at least, definitely the oak takes precedent. But there's so much going on there, very well balanced. And again, just an easy sip.
I do like that a lot though.
It is
And
really
for
good.
only $50-$55, affordable. And again, even the biggest connoisseurs out there, this will be in their bar.
Big fans.
Now, with that, we have 3 fan questions tonight, starting off with, if any, what improvements would you guys make to the NBA in-season tournament after the inaugural one just finished up?
I think maybe more money. Because when you're looking at it for guys like your best players on the team, $500K isn't going to be too big of an incentive.
Well, it is for teams like the Pacers.
For the Pacers, yeah. But
But
like,
you also got to think it's 500K for the whole team. So, yeah, there's no bonus that you're going to give to a guy making $500 million in his contract that's going to matter.
yeah.
But it's more for the 8 through 10 spots. They're like, oh, my God, 500K is like half my salary.
Yeah, and the incentive for guys that are making $50 million is to go out and win that money for the
For
guys
their- yeah.
making $2 million a year.
Yeah, but I just think that, especially for a league as big as the NBA, they could definitely do more than $500K a player.
And coach, and assistant coach.
Yeah, but they could do more.
I mean, they could, but
If
I
you go
think 500K is good.
you don't think
I
they
could see them upping it maybe, but I think 500K is a good pool.
It's not bad. That's the only improvement I could think of, honestly. Like, the whole thing was super fun.
I think make it longer.
Yeah.
Love to maybe expand the pool play
I
a
was gonna
little
say,
bit.
probably have to go longer pool play, right?
Because
or
how
expanded field.
many pool games did they play?
I think 4 pool games, and then the top 8 play. So it's 3 games there. If you win if you go to the finals, you play 3 games.
So yeah, if your group play was 6 games, 8 games, I think that'd be one. It's easy to go on a 4-game stretch and play really well than it is to be consistent over 8. So I think that would give your teams like, I'm trying to think of who didn't make it. Maybe the Thunder. maybe they would have had a better standing, or your team's like, or maybe make the championship more than one game when you get into the actual tournament. Maybe make it a 3-game series.
That's what I was thinking too.
I think just the final.
But yeah, or even just the
I
final.
I like knockout rounds, and then you have best of 3 for the final. That'd be cool. I'd be down for that.
But yeah, just make it longer.
Then I know me and Cam agree the courts.
And the courts.
Let's just
gotta
have
go.
regular courts, please.
And Adam Silver did say, like, we dropped the ball on that big time.
Okay.
And he said, moving forward, they're just going to give guidelines. And then, because the NBA kind of took full creative control over the courts, but moving forward, the NBA is just going to give the team a set of guidelines, and then they're going to create their courts.
Yeah, I definitely trust each individual team more than these wild, colorful, that don't make any sense.
And I
color
think
combos.
we're going to see the first test of the creative guidelines being given in the finals this year.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Because they had teased that they were maybe going to do painted courts in the finals, which a lot of people, there's a lot of backlash. But I think if he does it the way he plans on doing the Cup moving forward, that it will turn out really good.
Yeah, I'm cool with some paint, just not the entire court, you know? A lot of the best courts out there, either the actual painted area is painted or mid-court, but not every single piece of wood on the floor.
Yeah.
It's a little bit much.
And then you get 3-point lines being in the wrong place, that kind of thing. The only team I don't trust is the Nuggets, actually.
Clearly, yeah. Next question up. Let's pivot to MLS. Guys, as a lifelong diehard.
Well, me and you. Shane's
Yeah,
an FCC fan, so.
fair point. Traitor.
Columbus Crew fans over here. Winners, as I like to say.
It feels good being a champ, doesn't it? Cam?
Finally.
Long overdue.
Feels
I'd say.
great.
You were there for that game, right?
I mean, I dabbled. I stopped in. I
We're
went
definitely
ahead.
hitting the victory parade.
Yeah, I checked in my box, see what was going on. But parade.
Dude, can't wait.
God.
I think it's on Thursday. So when you guys listen
So
to
the
this
last
show,
parade that they had in Columbus was probably 2014, right?
for sure, because it wasn't the Jackets. that's guaranteed. Maybe some smaller OSU, like the wrestling team one or women's volleyball,
Probably, yeah.
something like that.
That might just be a campus parade, though.
Most likely. This is citywide, dare I say statewide, unless you're down south like Shane is. FCC sucks, dude.
Losers. How about you try winning a championship?
Oh, wait, you
Nerds.
didn't. Yeah, I'm going to definitely try to get the team to send us some championship merch,
We should probably
some signed stuff,
I'd
jerseys
imagine, yeah.
for the studio. Because again, after supporting the team for 25 years, through some bad times, of course,
Some rough times.
and now through the best time,
Through low popularity in the sport,
of course.
but we powered through.
We've done our part to spread awareness.
23
MLS
years
is actually
strong,
great,
man.
dude.
Yeah.
I started watching.
People think just because Messi showed up, people like it now. No.
No.
It was strong before that.
Columbus
Even before
don't
the
give a
Zlatan
damn about Messi.
Even before the Zlatan Ibrahimovic days.
I do love Zlatan, though.
Who doesn't?
My best Zlatan story, you already know, right?
It's all of them.
True. But when LeBron sent him his jersey, and then Zlatan just said nah and sent it back.
Yeah. Great move.
And then last up, probably just for me and you as well. I don't know if Shane has any thoughts on this.
He might.
But Shohei chose his team, which is not a shock, but the dollar amount most certainly was, and even more than that,
The deferral.
$700 million over 10 years, but he's only taking $2 million per year in those terms.
For the next 10 years, and then for the 10 years after that, he'll make $680. It's very Ken Griffey Jr.-esque. I'm
Correct.
going to get paid for life from this team.
Yeah.
I don't think any other team was in the race. I'll be honest.
I think the the Blue Jays put pressure on the Dodgers because all the projections were $500 million, maybe $550.
No, I know. I think it was his agent saying, "Well, we'll just go to Toronto and see what they say," and then the Dodgers were like 700.
Yeah.
Can't beat that.
Let's get it
700.
done.
Guaranteed.
Let's get it
can't
done
beat
right
that.
now. Sign the deal.
Yeah.
But apparently Shohei offered every team he talked to the same
The
deferred
deferral
contract.
Yeah, no, I believe that 100%.
Because the man wants to win.
Yeah, I think all the other teams he talked to was to put pressure on the Dodgers. I think he wanted to stay in L.A. There's no reason for him to go anywhere else. Why would you go to crappy weather? And you know that's where all the money is.
Yeah, no one else can compete. Even the Yankees wouldn't drop 700.
Will you pull your shirt down?
You don't want to see that? Oh, no, not the other way. Don't make me drop that nickname on you there. Honeymoon. Now, there's really no way, even if he performs the past 2 years, being the best player in the league by far, if he does that for 10 years, it's not going to make up for $700 million. It's impossible. However, all the value he brings in off the field, they're going to make their money back and then some.
They are going to be pushing numbers hard, especially one, they'll probably win a couple World Series.
You got to have at least 2
I think they'll win at least 2
to be a successful deal.
Yeah, I think they'll win at least 2, especially with the deferral. They can literally just drop tons of money everywhere else.
Yeah. Like their payroll tax or their payroll this year is still only at 150 right now.
Yeah.
Which is not even like top 10, I don't think.
No.
And half of the Mets and Padres. At least now that Soto moved, that might have dropped down. But yeah, a lot of flexibility still there. And then I know his jersey sold out within like 5 minutes of being posted.
Unreal.
So yeah, you remember Ichiro in Seattle,
Yeah.
right? Or the entire country of Japan were Mariners fans.
Yeah.
That's the way Shohei's been.
Yes.
These guys that
But
were
I think now
Shohei
that
fans, they're
more-
not going to stick with the Angels.
I think now that more Japanese aces and Asian players are coming over at more of a high value, I think you're going to see that kind of spread out more.
Should be. The problem is the biggest Japanese ace is also probably going to be a Dodger.
Yeah.
At least that's the rumor
That'd
around
be
baseball.
Crazy.
Plus, Shohei's already talking to the guy.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I'll defer. Just take $2 million a year. They can pay you. You defer, and we'll get the whole club over here, man.
Get the whole Japanese world team.
It'd be pretty tough to beat.
Yeah, I know. Where did he sign? Guy just came out of Korea. He just signed today, I think.
Today? I didn't see that then. Maybe Boston. Maybe Chicago. Chicago was pushing hard for Shohei. Maybe Toronto's consolation prize for not getting Shohei.
It was it was Lee Jung-hoo. He signed with
Definitely wasn't the Reds.
or maybe he wasn't signed yet. Maybe he just gave like a
Got
top
posted.
10 or something. But he's another I think he's just a big hitter. I don't think he was actually like a pitcher or anything.
And then one thing I've seen people being concerned with is this totally resetting the market for future contracts. But there's nothing to worry about there because there's only one Shohei. He's getting paid for 2 players because he's not going to pitch in 2024, but after that, he is 2 players. You're getting a top 10, top 5 starting pitcher and a top 5 hitter.
Yeah.
So
pretty big deal.
maybe 25 years from now, when there are more elite 2-way players, if there ever is one.
It was the Giants that signed him. He's a center fielder. And
That's a great move on their part.
I believe he won KBO MVP. Or he's the son of a former KBO MVP, but this year he balled out of control. He's only 25.
Yeah, baseball in Asia is huge.
So he was born the same year as you. But he was also born in Japan. So another Japanese player, but he played in the Korean
KBO.
league.
Yeah, KBO and the Japanese league are definitely the highest levels of baseball that's not MLB. But
Yeah.
they're not far behind.
He got 6 years, 113 mil. And he gets an opt-out after 4.
Other thing with Shohei, no opt-outs, which you don't see much more in these days.
Yeah, that seems kind of odd. But
Man's
if
locked
you're-
in, committed.
Yeah, you already deferred your contract for basically a 20-year contract. So you definitely you're probably retiring after 10.
That's the thing. He's going to turn 30 during the season.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, can he pitch at that level for that long? Probably not.
Well, eventually you move him to reliever.
He should be a closer come 2029, 2030, somewhere in
Yeah.
there. But already had 2 Tommy Johns.
Well, even now, like the Dodgers they have a pretty deep pitching staff.
They do. Those guys always get hurt, but
you don't have to
they'll be just fine.
pitch every time you play. You don't have to pitch 6 innings.
That he could even pitch like every other start.
Yeah,
Only start 15 games, come out of the pen some, and just hit every day, and hit 60 bombs and hit 270.
yeah.
Dodgers very
He'll be
scary.
all right.
It's gonna be Dodgers Braves NLCS for a long time. It'll be like Warriors Cavs NBA Finals.
Yeah, probably.
At least it should be. Let's go with our second edition of year-end lists. Starting off with the non-sports, our whiskey of the year, or whiskeys of the year. Shane, any nomination there for you? I think you've dabbled a little bit more that you've been on the show. Any bottle stood out to you above the rest?
What was that?
Same one as my number one, probably.
The one with your custom label on it.
Angels Envy Rye.
Strong pick.
That was really good.
Strong pick.
That's my number one.
Yeah.
And definitely partially because I have a custom bottle with my anniversary.
And that does go a long way.
Shout out to Step Grandpa Biagatti for that one.
Oh, absolute legend.
And then the one that had the bomb label on it was really good too.
The Ezra Brooks barrel pick with the Gem City Bourbon Society. The Cannonball edition.
Yeah, all the 2023 barrel picks we've had have been fantastic.
Stoked for the OCM New Riff.
You got a bottle that locked in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I still have not gotten one yet. I was debating if I'm going to or not.
Well, I reserved one. I haven't bought in yet, but I'm definitely going to.
Is that one you want for the studio or for your house? Because I might just send you $35 and we'll just split it.
We could do that. Studio it up.
Yeah. And crack that live on air. That'd
Thoughts?
be dope.
I mean,
3 ways is a lot better.
I was
than
gonna
2.
say is
I'll cover Shane's share. Yeah. We'll knock that out together. The OGs.
Yeah. The cheese.
Now, my one, again, of all the 2023 releases I've had so far this year, which is not a ton, the one that stood out above the rest is why I got Double Oak tonight, the Woodford Batch Proof 2023.
Oh, yeah.
Was just gorgeous. My buddy hyped it up so much.
I don't think there's a bad Woodford.
Definitely not a bad one. No. Even the standard Woodford.
It's all so
Whether
good.
it's their standard, their rye, their malt, the wheated,
It's
all
all
great.
so good.
But the batch proof this year blew me away, exceeded expectations. I think this year was 112.5 or 117.5, something like that.
Right up your alley.
Didn't have a bottle myself,
But
it's
you
tough
did
to
get
get,
a sample.
but I had a few samples that was just phenomenal. So tribute them tonight with the
And
Double
shout
Oak.
out to,
Both Aaron and Mike.
there you go.
Although Aaron's might have been the 2022 batch. We hit the Buckeye Bourbon House in Columbus,
Oh, I think I remember you telling me about
I had that there.
Yeah.
and I had one for Mike as well.
What was the other thing you had there that was super expensive? It was like $30 a pour or something like that.
There was that.
Oh, it was? I thought it was something else.
I had the Old Fortune 1920. Oh, now at Jake's a couple years ago, I had the Weller Full Proof, which was like $35 a pour.
That might have been what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, which is still my favorite sip to date. Besides maybe the George T. Stagg Freddie gave us last week. That was just beyond description. But so that's my whiskey of the year for 2023. How about our top 5 sports stories
Sports stories.
of the year?
Number 5, I got a combo. We got Messi to the MLS, which was a crazy story, honestly. But then, women's college ball, man. The rise of Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and all that, it was insane.
And getting a little more parity.
And I was, honestly, I was very hyped up during the women's tournament.
I'll be honest, I think I cared more about the women's tournament than
Than
the
I did
men's.
men's, yeah.
Which is a great tourney, nonetheless.
It was,
But
yeah, both were phenomenal. And I think moving forward, I mean, I've watched women's college ball since. So,
yeah, I was trying to get tickets for when Iowa comes to the Lady Buckeyes.
yeah,
But of course, we worked that day.
of course.
Yeah, to see Caitlin Clark in person would just be phenomenal. And same with LSU. Like, they're
Yeah, just ballers.
clearly the best team in the entire sport right now. But
Yeah.
all it takes is 145 bomb from Caitlin Clark, and
Never
that could be a
know,
title
man.
right there.
Yeah.
Shane, you're 5.
I said backup quarterbacks in the NFL because
Okay.
pretty much all season you've seen guys go down and their backups come in and they're either amazing or they're awful, and we talk about it no matter what.
That's a great point.
Yeah,
there's
I mean,
really nobody
Jake
who's
Browning,
just average.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco, PJ Walker,
The passing
DTR,
Paisano.
Tommy DeVito, even Beathard didn't play bad.
for the brief time he was in there.
Josh Dobbs has probably been
That could
the
be a
best
story by itself.
of them all.
And then also the bad ones like Zach Wilson.
Josh Dobbs.
Redeeming himself.
Tim Doyle or Boyle.
Tim Boyle, of course.
Yeah, the backup to the backup.
Yeah.
The Zapster.
Oh, dude, he was the starter all the way. Come on now. My 5 is similar, actually. Just Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
The whole, is he going to leave? Where's he going to go? Now we know it's the Jets. All that build-up, bringing in Randall Cobb, Lazard, his buddies. You're thinking
Yeah.
the Jets are actually a contender now. They're on Hard Knocks. You're watching this whole process. He comes out with the flag opening night.
Oh, dude.
Hype is through the roof just to be torn away.
The third play.
Thanks to that old cutback block play.
Yep. That he did not want to run.
Number 4.
Number 4, I just said Ja Morant.
A lot to unpack there.
Just story after story, and now his trial and the goofy things that they're doing in court just to show what things are. And oh man,
If we went by time spent on this show talking about one individual, I think for this year, Ja probably takes that title.
yeah, definitely. There's been so many stories,
Yeah.
even going into last year. But honorable mention, the whole Brandon Miller, whatever happened, that nightclub thing, that whole thing, that was a wild story.
Yeah.
And like everyone was implicating Brandon Miller, and he's like, dude, I didn't do anything wrong. And agreed, but it's still just a crazy story to be involved with.
Yeah, to even be a part
Like
of.
just to be there.
Yeah.
Like what a crazy, it's been a wild year.
Then I almost went with, I guess, an honorable mention, although it may have been last year. I didn't check. The what we call it, shootout at the Rio Grande.
That was last year.
That's what
Yeah.
I thought. Yeah, that was like November, December.
New Mexico State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shane, your 4 spot.
My 4 spot is the James Harden trade. Because for months,
Yeah. It was like, oh, we're not talking about that anymore. Now the season's happened, and like 3 weeks into the season, there was a trade.
He's like, I'm not going to play. I'm going to come to camp and just sabotage it and not do
Yeah.
anything.
I've just never heard of a player like openly be like, yeah, I'm just going to mess with you guys until you trade me.
yeah. And then him saying he'll never, what's their GM? Was it their
Daryl
GM or
Morey.
their
Daryl Morey.
owner? Yeah,
Daryl
he said,
Morey.
I'll never play for Daryl Morey again. That was definitely the most, I don't even know how to, I've never seen a player more upset with his franchise.
You want to go like hostile almost.
Yeah.
Would be the word to
Yeah.
use.
And then I think the only thing that I can say was kind of disappointing was the actual trade because they really didn't get anything for him.
No, fleeced.
Yeah, like as
Big
a
time.
Even
as
though
a
he's not
Philly
been
fan.
good so far in LA.
No, he is not.
No.
But
They'll
like
figure it
still,
out.
at the time it was James Harden. Like we're gonna get something, right? Like all of this is gonna be built up to something, and then
And it was like,
No
Nick
payoff.
Batum, a couple picks like 5 years from now.
yeah,
Yeah,
Daryl Morey doing Daryl Morey things, dude.
My 4th spot is something we've also talked about a ton this year. Sports betting in Ohio being legalized for the first year.
Yeah.
Huge thing that we've all done. All
There's
do it a
just
lot.
things that you forget happened.
Yeah, and that was.
like-
I mean, that was legit January 1st.
And it's like sports betting feels like it's always been around.
Correct. After a year in, for sure. Been a solid year for me. I'm up $2,000 on the year.
Nice.
This will definitely take.
I just used my initial free bets.
That's where I won most of mine.
and I haven't.
I put that $200 I had in free bets on one NBA parlay, and it came down to the Jonas Valanciunas 9 rebounds.
I remember that.
He had like 6 with like 2 minutes to go. That was the last thing I needed, and he grabbed 3 boards right there.
I thought
Locked it up.
There was one where you needed LeBron to score. and
That
he
one
just-
I lost.
And
Yeah.
he just couldn't hit a shot.
He had like 6 shots. I just needed 1 point. And that was a
Yeah,
much
I
smaller
remember that.
amount, but yeah, I was like, come on, LeBron, give me just 1 point. And I think he went to overtime even,
It did.
and he still
Yeah.
didn't score.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the ups and downs.
I love
of sports
everybody's
betting.
success stories and horror stories. That's my favorite part about it.
Oh yeah, I was one crazy thing away from this 18-leg parlay.
Yeah, like I said, I lost mine doing like 20-leg parlays, and I haven't put any money into it. I haven't even got on the app, and
Yeah.
who knows how long. Like probably since January. So, but yeah, I love it.
So much fun, and even if you don't bet, just to talk about. And there's so much on ESPN, on sports radio.
Yeah.
They have just betting shows,
Betting shows, yeah.
which it had before, but now it's legalized in pretty much every state. And now being here in Ohio is
Upped a little bit.
a huge thing. How about number 3?
Got the Kelsey brothers Super Bowl. It's a great story. head-to-head, brother versus brother. I mean, sort of, but and it was a pretty great game. I love Mama Kelsey's half and half outfit. It's phenomenal all around. 2 Hall of Famers, first ballot. Probably almost you could probably argue best in their respective positions. But this is a great story all around. And then the everything, all the Kelsey brothers stuff, honestly.
The podcast.
The podcast is great. The podcasts pre-Super Bowl were awesome.
I know your number one spot's probably Kelsey and T Swizzle.
It's up there.
You got to factor that in too, you know.
Who apparently the Kelsey family loves Taylor Swift.
I'm sure she loves them too.
Jason Kelsey's wife, Kylie, she's like, I'm pro Kelsey, I'm pro Swift. She's great for him. He's great for her. Like, this is, I ship it.
And she's like the coolest woman alive, by the way.
She really is.
Which, of course, marrying Jason, you would have to be.
Yeah. Have you heard like how they met up?
No, I don't think.
It was a Tinder date, and Jason was like blackout drunk, and she had to carry him home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like
All
apparently
three feet of him.
his like proposal, like how he asked for her dad's permission was like they had gotten in the car getting ready to leave, and he was like, "Oh, I gotta go inside and take a shit." And he was back out in like 10 seconds, and she was like, "I know he didn't shit." Like it's just that simple. He takes at least 20 minutes.
I feel like Jason's one of those guys that every father would want their daughter to marry.
Just a bro,
Just an absolute bro. But not like a bro.
not a douche bro.
Yeah, like a real bro.
Yeah, like a real bro.
Like me and you.
Yeah, good old boy.
Shane, your 3 spot.
See, I have the Izzy and Sean build-up, but honestly, you could say a
Of
lot
course
of
you
the
do.
UFC fights this year, because a lot of the press has been pretty good, and then even just the cards in general this year have been amazing.
UFC is your number 3 story.
I think so, yeah. But honorable mention to the Ian Gary thing that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah,
That's pretty wild.
It's a fun story.
Chael is hilarious.
Chael is
Uncle Chael, even before he got in the media thing,
Was always
Uncle Chael on the mic,
probably the best of all time.
with not even close,
I think your close second, or maybe not close, but second place has to be Connor.
without a doubt. But Chael's still so far above.
Oh my god!
had I remembered.
Even still, like he still acts like he's building up for his fight.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
he's undisputed, unbeaten champ, dude.
If I had remembered this, I probably would have put it at like 4 or 5. But the Chael Jorge Masvidal Twitter beef,
Classic.
Yeah,
You could do a top 5 of just Chael moments this year.
you really could.
still.
He has
From this month, even.
yeah.
Let's see. My 3 spot is going to be the Connor Stallions / Michigan Harbaugh drama.
Yeah,
That lasted a good 2 months straight,
it did.
which really I think was totally overblown myself. But man, it was fun to follow. Where every day something new came out. Where he's
And then
paying guys over
something was
Venmo.
refuted, and something
Yeah.
was new, and then who
And
knows if
yeah,
this
Ryan
is
Day's
real.
brother was on the investigatory
And it was all
company,
from
and,
third-party sources.
Yeah, but-
Nobody knew what was actually going on.
and to have all that leading up with both teams, being undefeated, playing the biggest game maybe of the entire saga
In both top 4 positions.
Yeah.
Like,
with no Harbaugh
yeah,
in the Michigan against the world, attitude.
yeah.
See, that was entertaining as could be for those. Well, it felt like it the whole year, really, but a little 2-month stretch there. Let's go top 2.
My number 2 is the story of Yuri Prohaska versus Alex Pereira. Yuri takes down Glover to win the title, gets hurt, vacates the title like a real warrior, and then Alex gets to avenge his retired Glover Teixeira for the title against the guy who took the title from Glover.
Like we've mentioned, a real life Mortal Kombat kind of fight.
And the story, I mean, you could not write a better story than that. The only story better is probably the World Baseball Classic.
In terms of this was a Hollywood script, had to be.
Yeah. Unreal.
If only the fight, matched
Yeah.
all the hype. But we won't talk about that. Shane, your 2 spot.
I said the Kelsey brothers in general. Like this year, I feel like that is the biggest story or like most talked about subject in the NFL, like just common people, Jason and Travis. And their podcast is amazing. And I'm happy that more people are listening to it. But just how good of dudes both of them are.
Yeah, everybody loves Jason. Everybody loves to hate Taylor Swift for some reason.
And I was going to say now, too, as much, even on the show, we've talked about, the NFL focusing too much on Taylor Swift. She has brought a bunch of new fans to the game.
Yeah,
She has.
And
People that wouldn't otherwise watch.
And
tune
again,
in.
she wasn't. It was like, what do you want to do? Watch them huddle? Like, show me the fans, like you do everywhere else.
Yeah,
Other fans were still being shown,
correct.
but there was one consistent one, and it's Taylor Swift. Like,
Who is the most famous person on earth?
probably
What are they going to do? Not show her?
at like that Michael Jackson level of pop star.
Yeah.
Honestly,
And it's not like she's asking the NFL, hey, make sure you put me on camera. Like,
she doesn't care.
it's all them. Yeah.
Yeah.
She doesn't need any help from the NFL. But she has brought a lot of new fans to the game, which I think overall is a great thing.
And I love the New Heights No Dumb Questions segment
It is so funny.
where it's just random Swifties who've never watched football before.
What is a down?
Yeah,
And then, like, you think, you get such a basic question, it's tough to even explain.
it's
Like,
impossible.
what
to
is a
explain.
down? I don't know. I don't know how
I don't know how to
would
explain
word
it.
that.
I just know what it is.
Yeah.
Like, it's just one of those things that you just know.
How would you explain what a down is?
Give me like an hour, and I'll be able to give you something.
It's to simplify, you have 4 tries
To
to
get the
get a ball past
10
the
yards?
10-yard mark.
Which is, I think, how they explained it. It's
Yeah.
one of 4 tries.
Yeah, just call it a try. Think about it like that.
Yeah.
A play. My 2 is the jaw thing. Had to be up there, of course. You guys touched on that enough as it was. So, our number 1 sports moment of the year. Shane, you go first because I know me and Cam have the exact same one.
Yeah.
Well, I have the exact same one that you just said for your 2.
John Morant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's not really much more I can say. We've talked about him more than enough on the show.
Favorite moment from the whole thing?
Definitely him pulling the gun on the 17-year-old during a pickup game.
Allegedly. He said today in court it was self-defense.
Either that or sending a bunch of dudes to jump a Foot Locker employee for
That
his
would be
mom.
my pick.
Yeah,
that
that's
yeah.
number one for sure.
another thing that you just like can't even make up.
Allegedly.
I don't even know, like, if it is made up, whoever came up with it is a really funny
They
guy.
should be a movie writer.
Yeah. Because there's so many questions. Why was his mom beefing with this Foot Locker employee so bad? Why did Ja have 8 guys that were just openly available to go to this Foot Locker? And what did the employee do? Like, to warrant that?
It's a very unfinished story.
But
It
what did
really
the employee
is.
allegedly do?
The employee needs to come out and say what he did.
He'll probably be in the trial.
I don't,
Could be.
He could be.
Expert witness. Which that moment today almost is my favorite, where he had to show
He
the
checked the
courtroom how
ball.
to check the ball. Like,
Which surely they know, right?
They definitely know.
you would think.
I feel like they
Genuinely everyone has played a pickup basketball game.
Or at least seen one.
And multiple. And even if you're not good, you've still played. Like, that's just how that works.
I think they make you in gym.
Yeah, the boys are at the park. You're not a basketball player, but everybody's like, hey, we need a 10.
Need a body. Get in here, dude.
We need an 8th. We need a 10th. We need a
Just play
6th.
defense.
3-on-3.
Box
No
out.
big deal. Then you're witnessing, at some point, you're going to check the ball. And if you play the rules where I do pass-ins, where you got the first, you can't just shoot. If you're the guy who checks, you have to pass the ball in.
I like that.
So I would always say, in my opinion, the worst guy should do the check-ins because he should be the one passing the ball in. That way your best ball handler can get the ball first. Makes sense.
That makes perfect sense, actually. We never played that way. But I like that a lot better.
Yeah.
The funniest part is that he doesn't really explain how the checking the ball ended up with a gun getting pointed at a kid.
Well, he's not supposed to. That would
No,
defeat his
that's-
own argument.
Yeah, that's not his job.
Yeah, but like,
That's the lawyer's job.
how does it escalate?
That's the lawyer's job.
We'll never know.
No, but he's admitting to pulling the gun because he's saying it was self-defense. So how did the checking of the ball escalate?
We have to prove it wasn't self-defense, right?
Yeah, but like, how
So
did
why
it
would I tell you
escalate?
what happened?
I'm saying he's openly admitting, yeah, I did pull a gun on this kid.
Okay. In self-defense.
Right.
If I'm on
You're
trial,
allowed to do that.
if I'm on trial,
But what
and
happened?
you tell me, explain to me checking the ball, I'll show you in the most passive way possible what checking the ball is. And if it's anything harder than that, self-defense. He was trying to attack me with the basketball.
He should have
So-
just like thrown the ball at the lawyer's feet.
Because check-ins get heated,
Oh, yeah.
especially if the other team's down. and you're running your mouth.
But he did enough to go home, get your gun, and come back.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. But
Now, Cam, do the honors with our number one story of the year, by far my favorite,
the fan favorite.
which technically happened in 2022, but the story broke
story came out
and was finished this
in
year.
2023.
Give us the quote.
Weights and fish, baby.
We got weights in fish.
We got weights and fish. What a... That's a once-in-a-lifetime story.
Once again, how do you write that?
It's a once-in-a-lifetime story. For these guys to be so successful in tournament fishing, just so we know that their $50,000 boat was won on fraud.
My favorite part is that they weren't even like realistically successful. They were catching fish that were like 30 pounds past the world record.
Yeah.
And finally someone's like, I don't know, guys, you've broken the world record like 9 straight weeks. Let's take a look here.
Something's going on.
And
Yeah,
sure
they
enough,
didn't like just put a couple.
They completely
Like if they were like a couple ounces over the guy behind them, they probably would have never gotten caught.
Of course.
But I think what happened was the guy who was putting weights in before was like, hey, dude, let's switch up. We can both take a hand in this. And the other guy was like, say less, dude.
Like when you cheat on a test, you don't get 100.
No.
you
You
get like
an
an 89.
You know?
Yeah.
There's nothing suspicious about an 89.
I was going to comment on how we both said 89 at the exact same
That's
time.
the number you go to. We've all
Yeah,
cheated
yeah.
before. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going for an A, dude. Give me a
No.
nice B plus.
Yeah,
Dude,
you go
B+.
85 to 90.
Yeah. We're happy with that.
90 is still kind of pushing it if you're like rolling it at like
it
a
depends.
70.
It depends on.
If you're a C student,
Yeah.
you could break out a 90 here and there. If you're at 62%, you can't be pulling no 90.
You can't be pulling 90s
You got to go
every
75.
week, though.
Oh, yeah. It's a scale, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And these guys broke that scale in every manner. And eventually, I think it was in May or June, they got their penalties officially. 10 days in jail, had to give the boat back,
Yeah.
banned from future tournaments.
Crazy.
We got weights in fish.
We got weights and fish.
Thank God we found that story.
That was such a good story.
Let's go to NFL news and stats. Shane, start us off here.
We've got Kadarius Toney sucks.
It's not on my outline.
That's not where we started either.
That's where I wrote it.
At the beginning,
Yeah, right
we
under
did this
the
together.
right under the top 5.
I think that's just what you were most excited for.
I think so.
Well, Cam, see if this matches your notes. I have written down NFL news and stats. The next line under that is Robert Kraft makes decision about Bill Belichick.
Yeah,
I don't see
I
Kadarius
have-
Toney even on this page for me.
I actually have Kraft has decided about Belly.
Shorthand.
So
I actually did, but verbatim, I wrote down Kraft made decision about Bill. So, yeah,
yeah, I said Belly's future.
I guess we're rolling with that then.
we certainly are. That's the leading story of the NFL news and stats segment.
Yeah, we'll get there. It's the end of the news and stats section.
I don't know why I have it first.
You were just too excited about it.
Also, the end of Bill's career in New England, right? It wouldn't be
Has
news
to be.
otherwise.
Yeah,
No.
if you were deciding his future and he was staying, you wouldn't announce it. He'd just be coaching next year.
Mutual, you think?
Probably.
He doesn't want to keep losing. There's no way.
No.
Like, dude, I'm stuck with Bailey Zappi
Don't
Whoa.
act like
Well,
Potential.
you're stuck with Mac Jones
and Mac Jones.
and Malik Cunningham.
the Zapmeister.
And overall, the worst roster in football.
Yeah, I think the Zapster is better than the Zapmeister.
Zapster all day.
You don't like the Zapmeister?
Nah, doesn't
Okay.
flow as well.
Zapster?
Zappinator?
You're getting zapped? The Zapstronaut?
Oh. Shane, how many times this week have you heard anybody say assistronaut?
0.
Me too.
I've said it quite a few times, actually.
I haven't heard you say it, at least. And you don't count. But I've heard a lot of people say Greg the Torch Dorch.
I've heard everyone
And also
say
Lou
that.
the Tort Dort. So next season, no Bill for the first time, pretty much that I recall, at least in my lifetime.
Since, what, 99?
Who do you bring in?
I think 99.
Josh McDaniels.
Absolutely not. He'll never get a job again.
I don't know. I don't know who you bring in. Maybe this is where you get old Lincoln Riley to come up to the big leagues.
Ryan Day, come on down.
Maybe
Do you
this is.
seduce Jimmy Harbaugh?
I was going to say, is this where Harbaugh goes?
Either way, it's going to be a tough undertaking because, again, the roster is so bad across the board.
Yeah, I don't know.
And on the flip side, where does Bill go? If he goes anywhere, does he go home?
I think he goes home.
By home, I mean retirement, not back to Cleveland.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that could
you
be-
knew that's what he
No,
meant,
I
right?
knew. I
That
knew
could
what
be
he
an
meant.
option too, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I if you're Bill, what more do you have to prove?
It's not about that. It's just, does he want to keep coaching or not?
I don't know.
He's pushing 70.
Is it worth recreating a new system somewhere else, going through the hardships and struggles in the beginning of creating that system, and then eventually maybe making it pan out?
Because the only job you're going to is a team that fired their coach, which means they're
Correct.
not successful.
Correct.
Now they could
Or
be.
a successful team that realized their head coach sucks, like Cincinnati.
Strong point there. My thought, if he is going to go somewhere else, we know Staley's getting fired in L.A.
They have the roster talent.
That'd be easy for Bill to come in here and fix the one thing he's best at, which is
Defense.
defense. Bring in Brian. Bring Brian with him as
Yeah.
DC. Keep Kellen Moore to run the offense. All of a sudden, you got Bill, Andy Reid, Sean Payton, same division. Hopefully, Antonio Pierce gets that job in Vegas, keeps that.
Yeah,
LA needs a quarterback.
that's it.
But
Yeah,
not
I don't
defense.
know. I think Bill retires.
He should.
I think him and Brady are going to be making out on a yacht somewhere.
Reunited once again.
Yep.
As
Maybe
it
they
should be.
both take shares in the Raiders. Who knows?
Whoa. I think Brady would cut him a deal.
Maybe.
I could definitely see Bill just wearing a hoodie and being in a casino
Just a dude.
all day.
Yeah. He's just
No,
a
actually-
dude.
Take out the hoodie. He's in that casino with the pool. I forget which hotel it is in Vegas. Just hanging out there 24/7.
Yeah. No, he's definitely still in the hoodie.
You think he's wears a hoodie in the pool kind of guy?
He's wearing the same Patriots hoodie for the rest of his life.
I think he's hoodie, but he's sitting on like the ledge of the pool, just legs in,
Yeah.
with like a nice little Mai Tai, some kind of fruity drink,
Yeah.
just watching games. Not, typical Bill.
Definitely turning off Patriots games.
Oh, yeah, guys, for sure.
He's
I don't
like,
wanna
dude,
watch
these
that.
games are unwatchable.
He's like, oh, these guys really suck, don't you think? Shane, what's the second thing on your NFL news and stats list?
I think I might have just forgot to write down everything but Tony.
That you have one paper that just says Kadarius Toney. Well, I've got.
Tommy DeVito, actually.
We'll get there.
That's in film room.
I think you combined two segments.
I definitely probably did.
The
So
NFL
you completely missed the IR.
No, I have the IR.
The NFL is planning on a Brazil game in 2024, which I'm all for.
And their arena or stadium is gigantic.
Definitely in Rio, right?
Has to
Where
be.
they play like the big time
Yeah.
Brazil
That's where they play the World
soccer
Cup.
games, World Cup games,
Yeah.
and they host there.
They have
Just
to.
send two good teams, please.
Maybe not two good teams on paper, though. You know what I mean?
Just don't send them Minnesota and Vegas.
Yeah. Definitely send your Chiefs, send the Eagles, send the Cowboys, something like that. Give them at least one heavy hitter.
Or you send them the American Bowl. Colts, Giants, Gardner, and passing Paisano.
Ooh. If DeVito keeps the job,
Oh,
He's
Danny
keeping the
Dimes getting
job.
that job back, dude. Come on.
There's no way.
they're gonna have to play Daniel Jones just
Who?
because of his contract.
Who?
There's no
Danny
way.
Dollars.
Forget about it.
No, I agree. Trust me, I think DeVito's just as capable. But you paid him $45 million a year. You're not benching him.
But if the entire team actually has life now, I say you keep playing DeVito.
There's only one guy in history to throw for 220, run for 70, not take a sack, not throw a pick. You know who that is? It's not Danny Dimes. It's Tommy Cutlets. Making history.
I agree.
And then before the actual on-field stuff, apparently an AT&T Stadium employee was taking straight cash for fans without tickets and letting them into the stadium.
Who told?
I
That's
wish
what
that
wanna
was an
know.
option everywhere.
Had to be a snitch coworker, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because I'll be honest, the stadium should do that.
You don't get a seat, but you
No.
can go in the stadium.
Yeah, because there's all kinds of bars, all kinds of stuff, especially at AT&T Stadium, like
All the hologram stuff to look at, like the museum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
all that stuff. Like, I mean, if anything, he's just ahead of his time.
And probably been doing it for a while until some
Yeah.
little bitch coworker said, I'm not getting paid, so nobody can get paid.
Yeah, and then you just like, hey, I'll split it with you, man.
Yeah, a little bribe never hurt anybody, right?
And they're like, no. I'm telling.
I'm going to HR right away. I have a moral high ground.
All those big stadiums, that happens, guaranteed.
I say we
Easily.
try it at the Brownie Stadium.
Because it's like,
Okay, you can't say that on air, dude.
It's like,
Why?
one,
Now they'll be looking for us.
people don't just randomly come up and be like, hey, dude, I'll give you 200 if you let me in. It's something that they know is happening.
Yeah, you don't go to the stadium thinking on the off chance maybe some dude takes my cash. I'll get in.
No,
I hadn't even considered that because if you go up to the wrong guy now, everybody knows.
exactly.
So you go up to the next guy, the dude's like, "Get the hell away from me."
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you just come up and you're just with your 200 out. He's like, you just nod at him and he's like, what are you doing? That's not a ticket, dude.
Just bring in an envelope that looks anything like it could be tickets, or just probably show them your phone now, right?
Like at
Yeah.
that point, like,
Everything's digital. Here's
like-
a barcode. Yep, scan it. Cool, right?
like why are you not trying scalpers for $50 at that point?
Yeah.
Walking up.
Yeah.
There's always people selling real tickets too.
Every stadium, every game.
But it's like this guy knew, like these people knew they were getting into the stadium with their cash.
It was probably their friend.
Yeah, probably some guy week one told too many people, like, hey, man, guess what I did for the home opener? And that guy tells somebody else, and next thing you know, there's 200 people all trying to get in. And
They're
all it,
getting
takes
in.
is, all it takes is one guy to mess up.
Yeah. And I mean, we've all been to a stadium.
Correct.
It's not exactly like super separated where you wouldn't be able to see that happening
No.
No.
just as anyone. So it's like, yeah, he might have let one buddy in, but then 50,000 people just watched him do that.
Yeah.
And it's like, I get
But-
great seats this way.
49,090 of those people probably already had tickets
Correct.
because
They
that's
probably
why
weren't-
they're there.
Yeah.
Probably weren't paying attention to one guy either. Honestly.
Well, if he's the guy right in front of you in line,
Yeah, maybe those people.
but even
though.
like there's like 12 people right there. It gets pretty packed in.
Here's what happened. One of those guys that got in for cash was like at the bar, just hammered. The guy's like, dude, you haven't gone to your seat all game. He's like, no, dude, the attendant let me in for $200 cash, man. That guy right over there, that guy.
I guarantee you that's
And
what
then
happened.
that got reported,
Yeah.
for sure. As far as on-field stuff, Josh Dobbs, the roller coaster may have ended.
Came to a
At least it is low point.
screeching halt. The unexpected emergency brake was popped on this roller coaster.
Yeah, did you guys actually watch any of that game?
No.
I could not bring myself to turn it on. I just kept looking at the score updates, and I'm like, it's still 0-0.
Even Red Zone gave up.
Yeah.
Although they did say that was the first time, I think, since like 1988 where 2 games went to halftime scoreless. Because Jets-Texans was also
Yeah.
0-0 at half. Well, thankfully, they scored after that.
Well, and even then, it's like, well, your starting quarterback on the Texans went down. They're already missing their starting wideout 1.
And terrible weather.
Terrible weather. Then their wideout 2 goes down. And now your best receiver is Robert Woods and John Mechie, who didn't look terrible.
And Noah Brown. You know, he's competent under 3.
I was impressed. John Mechie actually looks solid.
Future Pro Bowler. Book it.
Well,
Book it.
with Tank Dell being out, somebody's got to get the nod.
Step up. Could be the Tyler Huntley of wideouts.
Snoop.
All right, Shane. Now it's time for your boy Kadarius Toney and the fiasco at the end of the Chiefs-Bills game.
You know, who would have thought you can get called for being offsides when you're offsides?
Apparently not Andy Reid.
Not Patrick Mahomes.
First time Andy Reid's ever had an offensive offsides called on him in his entire career.
Because he did not coach the Jalen Hurts tush-push Eagles.
Correct. Who Jason Kelsey gets called for an offsides as an offensive guard at least once a game.
And the guards also.
How do they never review that?
It's a good question, actually. You know they're doing it.
Well, my thing is like they call it on the guard like the guard has 2 left hands.
Yeah.
Every time. How do you not review that? Why is nobody like, no, dude, that's the center. This guy, that would be his right hand. Look where his thumb is. It's not there. Like, how do you not?
Or especially like when the ref group gets assigned their game, they know they're doing the Eagles. Usually in prep, you'd go over, all right, guys, this play's been called 8 times where they've called offsides on the guard. Let's look at the film here. Definitely not Kelsey's hand. So let's watch for that. They just not prep for games.
There's no chance they do.
Yeah, based on the on-field product they've put up so far this year. That makes sense. But Shane, there's a lot of backlash of should they have called it? Should they have warned him?
Well, he did it 5 times that game, so they definitely warned him.
Allegedly.
There's no way that that happened 5 times.
What's your source?
This guy reviewed every single play of the game.
So your source is just this guy,
Yeah, I forget his name.
Trust me, bro.
Bills fan 204
I
on
forget
Twitter.
his name.
I did see every CBS reporter deleted their posts saying that Kadarius Toney did check in with the line judge.
Yeah, there's no way he did.
No.
But also, the thing is, you shouldn't have to.
No,
You're a
because
professional wideout. You know where to line up at.
Yes
that
and
was
no,
so egregious too.
because it is something that it should be built into your routine pre-snap is to check in with the line judge.
Or at least check.
Because
Yeah.
you have to check in just in case of an illegal formation too. So there's other reasons why you check. It's not just to make sure you're on sides.
Well, he didn't check. He was called, and it ruined not just a great play, but according to Pat, it ruined Kelsey's legacy. Which is a little bit overblown, don't you think?
I will say that was probably top 5 plays Kelsey's ever made in his career.
Without a doubt. An incredible play.
I just want to know when Kadarius Toney is going to start getting blamed for something that Kadarius Toney did.
The fact he's not been cut yet
Is insane.
after week 1, he should have been cut, let's be honest. But after this, it should have been as soon as the game's over.
Like if
Should have
I'm
been an Antonio Brown exit.
if I'm Patrick Mahomes, the first person that I'm blaming right there is Kadarius Toney.
Well, you would think.
That I mean, he did it.
Turns out when you're used to getting every single call go your way and then you don't get one, you get a little bit upset.
Well, they didn't even get upset. He made it. They did make a good point. Is they didn't even talk about the egregiously missed pass interference call that cost them the game against the Packers.
Yeah.
So I don't even think it was that. I think it's just because it is such an obscure call, and skill positions never get called for offsides. It's been like what 4 times for a skill position in the last 6 years.
Which again, guys know where to line up and they do
And
check.
yes,
that's
I-
not a penalty
I
that should
understand
happen.
that.
You know,
But it is a very odd, obscure penalty that we never see.
and I get the frustration. I think a lot of it also from Pat is he's not going to throw his guys under the bus. He hates his wideout core. Has to.
He does.
They're horrible. So a lot of that anger comes from them not catching balls at all. But he's never going to be a bad guy like that. So
He'll be a good team leader.
what I don't like is it's going to, because it's calling attention to officiating, which we need. But this
Agreed.
time the refs were right. If we see guys react like this over bad calls, maybe something actually gets changed.
Over missed calls.
Correct. Not even judgment calls, but calls that just, this is an objective
Yeah.
call. He's offsides.
I agree.
DPI, I get it. It's a judgment thing. Tough to call in the moment, whatever. But if they didn't call that, and then Josh Allen post game was like, this is absolute bull, should have called that clearly offsides, and he had that kind of reaction, I'm okay with that.
Or they don't call it, and then you just lose the game anyways, like the Dolphins did.
Do we think
Could
it's
also happen.
possible for Kadarius Toney to lose them another game?
Well, he's lost 2 already.
Yeah.
He shouldn't get the chance to make it 3.
You wouldn't think so, but somehow he keeps on doing it.
It's practice, man. He looks great in practice.
Never dropped a single ball in practice.
I'm sure he hasn't.
Never
But-
been offsides in practice.
He's just. It's crazy for a wideout that no one should have heard of if you're like a casual viewer to be like, oh, that's Kadarius Toney. That's the guy that drops every single pass and ruins every game.
Who
Well-
would have thought they should have kept Juju Smith-Schuster?
Well, Nelson Aguilar had that hanging over his head for a long time, too.
But Nelson Aguilar wasn't quite as bad.
Yes, he was.
It was pretty freaking bad.
He dropped balls in the Super Bowl. He dropped balls all throughout the playoffs. He dropped balls all throughout the season.
But
If anything, it was much worse.
didn't he actually have okay stats,
No.
though?
Here's your question. Your life is on the line. You need one guy to catch a pass. Kadarius Toney, Nelson Aguilar, Quentin Johnston.
I'm going with Nelson, dude. What's the
What kind of a
what's
pass
the route?
is it?
Yeah, what's the
Yeah.
route here?
20-yard out route.
Ooh, an out means you might have to need a toe tap there at the end.
Johnson
Uncovered.
Johnson's not even a consideration at this point.
He's out for sure. I'm dead.
Johnston's definitely out.
Ah,
Kadarius Toney and Nelson Aguilar. It's a coin flip.
I'm gonna go Toney if you go Aguilar.
I'm going to go
Aguilar.
Tony because there's no way he messes up to the point where I die.
I'm
He's
going-
already messed
I'm
up
going
enough,
Aguilar, dude.
I'm going redemption arc.
Now,
Aguilar's
if he catches the ball but was offsides before the snap,
Is it called?
is it called?
That's the question.
I'm going Aguilar just because he hasn't dropped a whole lot of balls this year.
He's been a lot quieter.
So I'm gonna go Ag.
Maybe you throw T. Higgins in there.
I'm going the Agmeister.
That's going to catch on. Let's see. Do you want to go break before IR?
Works for me.
What are we at, like an hour 15?
Exactly, yeah.
Internal clock, baby. SNS episode 66 back after this.
We've got it's getting close to that time.
Christmas season and New Year's.
Christmas season, New Year's specifically. Because that brings about none other than, which we have failed for, 2022 and 2023
Mine goes back to 2021 as well.
and 2021.
So Shredfest 2024. It's time.
It's time.
New year, new us, right?
We're done talking about it. Time to be about it.
But the worst thing about New Year's especially is that's everybody's goal. So gyms are way too crowded, even more so than usual.
Yeah, definitely
Which is,
got to wait till
You know, it's great. Like, I'm glad people are trying to get healthy.
March,
but
April.
It's tough for me, man, to go in there.
Because you know you have your game plan. These people are just wandering around, not knowing what to do. And you're like, okay, you're using that equipment wrong, and I need that.
I got my whole routine laid out, 45 minutes in, out, done. But now it's
Easy.
2 hours because I'm sitting around waiting.
Yeah.
You know?
Boys, do I have the solution for you?
No, you don't.
Enlighten
do.
us.
It's a fellow by the name of Evan Keaton, and he is an ACE certified personal trainer.
So what? He's going to come to the gym with me?
No,
Problem's
no,
not
no.
solved.
No, you don't go to the gym, fella. The gym comes to you.
Well, that's great, but I don't really have any equipment here.
Yeah, I don't
No,
understand
no.
what you're saying.
The gym comes to you. He brings the equipment
Personal training and the equipment.
all in your home.
That's
From-
right in my sweet spot.
That is right up my alley. There's nothing I love doing more than sitting at home.
Exactly. But
Well, you're going
not
to love
sitting.
working out at home.
You're working out.
Even better, I just love being at home in my four walls.
And the only thing that can make being at home better is having Evan Keaton there with you.
Exactly.
He has been to my home, not for personal training, but for fun. And he is a fun guy.
No, I believe it.
So
Now, how do we get in touch with Mr. Evan Keaton?
If you would like Evan Keaton in your home,
ACE certified Evan Keaton.
you can give him a phone call at 937-308-6324.
What if I hate making phone calls?
Then don't you worry about it. He's got a website, and you can personally email him at allthingsfitness15@gmail.com or the website allthingsfit.org. Not .com, because he is a professional.
Maybe the most professional guy I know.
Definitely up there. To have a .org, you have to be important.
Not everybody gets. We don't have sportsandstogies.org.
No, we
This
don't.
is the American Council of Exercise, guys.
The
They-
premier organization in personal fitness.
They knew who they're certifying.
They do.
They do.
Shane may not know how to talk, but they know who they're certifying.
Exactly.
Let's give our ad card to the guy that can't speak properly.
I did pretty good for
Now, you
most
sound-
of that.
And you got that nice radio voice when you do the ad read.
Yeah, I really
That's
try.
the best part. You actually
No,
get close to the
I
mic.
wish you
I
made
do.
effort when we did the actual show, but this works.
To
you
be
want
fair-
our boy to make it.
We do.
We all want our boy to make it.
Oh,
Exactly.
he's made it.
He's A certified. He's made it, dude.
And they also have fitness classes.
That vary in intensity.
Which I think is great, especially for New Year's people who
Yeah.
are, either restarting or brand newly starting a fitness journey. It's tough being a one-on-one. A lot of pressure there. People get kind of uncomfortable. But in a full class with low intensity, medium, and or high intensity,
Yeah, I think he'll jump up pretty in the come New Year's. He'll have a lot of bookings, I think.
2024 year of Evan Keaton. You heard it here first.
Make the cigar now.
Whoa. Let me get Davidoff on the line real quick.
We don't need Year of the Rabbit. We don't need Year of the Dragon. We don't need none of that. We need Year of the Evan Keaton.
Year of the Keat.
Year of the Keat, ACE certified.
The Keat Meister, some would say.
The Keat Meister.
I think for that Keatonator works the best.
Yeah.
'Cause you already have Keaton right there.
Yeah, Keatonator. Or Daredevil.
The best one I've seen besides Charlie Cox.
Yeah.
And
if
again,
if they had to recast,
never seen him and Charlie Cox in the same room before.
neither have I.
I'm just saying.
And I've also personally never seen Evan in a suit.
Whoa. Is he blind by chance?
Could be. I don't know.
Hides it very well.
He
if
does.
so.
He does have a beautiful golden retriever.
I thought you were going to say beautiful set of eyes.
No, he has a beautiful golden retriever. Speaking of blind, in one of the cigar connoisseurs group I'm in on Facebook, there's a blind guy who posted a picture of him smoking a cigar, and said what it was, and the first comment I saw was, "Never seen somebody sleep and smoke a cigar before." And I was like, "Man, come on, you got to be able to tell."
There's no way he wasn't totally serious, right?
The dude had no idea.
Yeah.
So then someone commented and said, like, he's blind. And he was like, "Oh my God." And
Wait.
then the blind guy commented and said, "That's the best laugh I've had all day."
So he left the comment up after being told that he was blind.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the blind guy responded positively.
Yeah, once the blind guy responded and said, "Dude, that's hilarious."
See, dude, if it's me and I get that comment back, I'm trying to take it down before the blind guy
I'm
reads
deleting my entire account.
it. Yeah.
Before what?
Nothing. Before the blind guy catches word.
I missed that, actually. That is the best laugh I've had all day. Shane.
I caught myself and I'm like, he can't see it.
You can still
But he
read
can
it, though.
read it.
They have, voice to text.
He's not reading it.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Yeah.
depends what you mean by read.
He's listening.
He's
Yeah.
listening.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
give him a business card. He can watch it, listen to the show.
that is true.
Feast for the years.
We
some would say.
should get Braille on it.
On the card?
Yeah.
That's a lot to put in Braille.
Yeah, there's a lot of words on that card. Very small print.
You've seen them, right?
I have seen them.
He better have some. I'd hope he's seen them.
I've seen them.
Okay.
I
A little
just-
defensive there.
Yeah, I don't have them.
Well, I've
guys
got plenty downstairs for you.
you just
it's
told
been
me
a
you were
while.
gonna
I've
give me
been
some.
due for a re-up for a while. I just keep forgetting. I mean, you know how long it took me to get guitar picks from you.
About 2 months at least.
Yeah. So,
Don't forget your smoke wagon, by the way.
Yes.
I put it by the door.
all right.
You can't miss it.
I might.
You will. Probably. Shane, just double check when you guys leave.
Oh, man. No,
Let's
I'll
go to the IR in the NFL. Some significant injuries this week.
Starting off with C.J. Stroud and a concussion.
In protocol.
That is who I have listed first.
It,
No, I believe it came out today that he's fully concussed.
yeah, it looked rough.
Yeah,
That was a hard hit. And hard. It was a hard.
Yeah, hard hit.
going
but Yeah,
down.
when he hit the ground and then head flung back.
Yeah, hit his head hard.
next up, Justin Herbert with finger surgery out for the season.
Yeah, probably could play through it, but there's no point now.
No, you guys are already so bad. Just sit out. Get better
Be
for next
healthy.
year.
He's already had the one finger all season, which helped. But they couldn't take under center snaps.
Now he's got two.
So I'll give him my hands.
I don't think.
I have
I
no
don't.
broken
I don't
fingers.
think they have the finesse.
No.
Not like his, at least.
I also don't
No.
think you're really putting them to good use right now.
Well, not in terms of slinging the rock.
Yeah, but like, you would have no hands, and the Chargers would still probably finish like 9.
He's saying the Chargers would still suck.
Yeah.
Unless Bill Belichick comes in,
Unless, yeah, he could.
and 9-8 would be an improvement.
Plus,
by
I
the way.
mean, the fingers might be a little wet on your hands. Who knows?
definitely reek of cigar.
At
Old wet
least-
finger Austin.
Yeah, you can catch on. You can definitely catch on. Just one hand though. Never go. I'm not ambidextrous, so to speak. Righty all day, boys.
Oh man.
How about
I'll
JJ?
let the listeners go full imagination on that one.
Doesn't take much.
No way you guess it.
Not a chance.
Yeah.
There's no way, dude.
Not a chance.
Oh, Justin Jefferson took a pretty hard hit. I mean, a very hard, beautiful, classic
Textbook.
football hit.
Yeah.
But right to the chest, shoulder pad right to the chest. Went to the hospital.
Precautionary, from what I read.
Yeah. And still questionable. I don't know if he's been officially ruled out.
No, it's just kind of day to day.
So that
But
was
again,
tough.
I mean, at this point, I guess they're still kind of in the playoff picture.
Yeah, they're 7-5, right?
can't-
7-6.
It's in a tough spot. You'd rather than be like 2-10. where
Well,
you
it's like
could just take the time
Your
off.
thing is, it's like, what are you gonna? Is Josh Dobbs or Nick Mullins gonna win you big games? It's kind of what it boils down to, playoff wise. If
Yeah.
you do
Oh,
get
yeah.
in, and I think it's highly unlikely. I don't think they have a scheme or the team where even just an average quarterback or slightly above average could come in and perform at a great level to lead you to win. So I don't I don't know. I don't think if there's any question where he's even semi not healthy, just sit out.
Sit out. But maybe Nick Mullins is that guy.
Could be.
We don't know.
We don't know yet.
How about your Brownies offensive line?
Jedrick Wills underwent season-ending surgery, and I believe DeJuan Jones will be out for the rest of the year. He's on the IR.
Had surgery today.
And he had surgery today.
Torn MCL.
So, yeah, he's done.
That really sucks to see. The dude's killing it.
He was. He was playing very well. Jedrick Wills was playing very well as well.
To lose one is enough by itself, but
so
to lose
I think
two
now we're
starting,
down 3 total because I think Joel Bitonio went out early. So,
yet still winning games.
Keep powering through. We also lost Maurice Hurst, who I believe underwent season-ending pec surgery, which sucks to see because he was becoming very valuable on the defensive line there.
And then last but not least, Dolphins starting center Connor Williams, torn ACL, out for the year.
These big guys are starting to get hurt more and more, man.
I mean, again, we talked about O-line. Besides corner, probably the toughest position to play in today's game.
I mean, like even Joe Thomas tore both of his biceps when he retired. Like, it's just crazy.
That's why they get paid the big bucks, you know?
Yeah.
That Shohei money.
The biggest bucks.
How about the film room? Let's take a trip.
Shane cannot wait for the last segment of the film room.
Well, you can't wait for the first one, which I didn't want to talk about, but you talked me into it. The wild Thursday night game.
The Zapster, dude. Bailey Zappi.
Coming out party?
Came out zapping.
Firstly, I'll apologize. I told you, all of you out there, to put your mortgage on the under. And the over
guys lost a lot of houses
in the first half. So
you guys lost a lot of houses.
Of course, I take full responsibility on that one. What the hell happened?
The Steelers got zapped.
Simple as that.
I mean, yeah, it is that simple.
But then it came down. They could have won.
The Steelers almost zapped back.
I mean, they were about 40 yards overthrown of zapping back.
But, yeah, Mitch Trubisky just has a cannon. Sometimes you just can't control it.
4th and 2. What do you draw up? How about a 40-yard go route
Hail
to
Mary, baby.
Nobody.
Hey,
win some, lose some, you know?
exactly.
You got to take the shot when you got it.
We'll be back next week.
You can't contain Mitchy Biscuits.
No, nobody can.
You can try.
He can't even contain himself.
Well, how could you?
You think he intentionally threw that ball? No way.
Just instinct.
He was having a flashback to a Bears game in the playoffs where they needed that deep ball. And he wasn't even in a Steelers uniform. He wasn't in the Steelers pass game. He was in a Bears game, Bears uni, launching the ball up to Allen Robinson. And
A-Rob was there.
half of those statements are correct.
But not the most important half.
Yeah, what a cannon, though. The guy's got an arm, man.
You know, a lot of strength there.
He's got an arm.
Let's just get it on target.
It's only a matter of time.
And yet the Steelers still somehow in the playoff picture.
There's no chance.
Not anymore, right? There's no way. Probably lose out.
Just lost to the 3-10 Patriots. It's in your best interest to have a losing record to get a high draft pick because you need a lot of help. You've been rebuilding for the last 5 years.
But not really because they win too many games.
Not really.
Yeah.
But the problem is you don't have anything that says we can win a Super Bowl other than your defense, which you let Bailey Zappi torch you for 3 touchdowns. So let's talk about that.
That's quite the accomplishment.
I don't think the guy's ever. I think he might have thrown 3 touchdowns in his entire career before this game.
Bailey Zappi saving Bill's job one game at a time.
One game at a time. You finish the season 7-10. Bill might still have a job. Maybe they're back to being undecided about
They
Bill's
reconsider.
future.
Let's go Bucks Falcons with Baker touchdown maker Mayfield leading a game-winning drive there.
Baker touchdown maker, baby.
Suddenly 6-7, both teams. Division still up in the air, but more importantly, Desmond Ridder slinging the rock. Turns out Drake London's actually pretty good. Just give him the ball.
Yeah. Did you see the catch he had where he oh my God, it was beautiful. I think Red Zone showed it, but it was like a 40-yard dot.
Yeah.
And he kind of had to cut off the corner to make the play. Oh, dude, that was so
6'4",
good.
great athlete, 11 targets, 10 catches, 172.
Yeah, I think it was Antonio Winfield thought he had the pick. And Drake London's hands just shot
Boom.
right before his face. Like,
Got
no,
it.
that's mine. Thank you. Next.
Falcons keep showing potential.
They've got the young talent.
They're well on their way.
And I think I will be 100% honest. Desmond Ritter's shown flashes.
Clearly. Just put some pieces together consistently, and maybe you stick with them.
I don't disagree. I like Desmond Ritter a lot.
Another game that was, honestly, it was a wild week from top to bottom.
Oh, man.
Ravens in a close one, an OT game against the Rams. Prime Matt Stafford. Kyron another 114 on the ground. That weird safety where the terrible snap to Lamar. I mean, atrocious snap. It's a complete bullet that he kicked out for a safety. Smart play there. And then game-winning punt return in OT.
That punt return was awesome.
Sick.
It's their backup punt returner, too.
Yeah, nothing better than a nice walk-off punt return.
Especially for, like, your first punt return.
Yeah, Duvernay's gone. So this guy, I don't even know his name, actually. I'll have to go pull it up.
I think it was something Mitchell
Wallace.
Mitchell Wallace, maybe?
Especially in bad weather.
Bad weather.
Catching a punt by itself is tough enough.
He broke a couple tackles.
Yeah.
He looked good doing it. And he had he just skated on the sideline.
Any concern for the Ravens defense? Are the Rams actually good still? 6-7.
I think the Rams are better than their record appears, in my opinion. Matt Stafford still has it. He's been a little inconsistent, but consistent the last couple weeks. And they could go on a run.
And he's got his new guy.
10-7's not they'll get you in the playoffs, especially in the NFC.
Let's see the remaining schedule here. They go Washington, New Orleans, the Giants, all winnable games, and then Niners to end the year. They should win those three at least.
If the Niners lock in the 1 seed, they won't start anybody.
Could very well win out. And I think you had them as your 7 seed.
I had them in my wild card.
Is it time to panic in Detroit?
It's the opposite of the Rams. Their record says they're a lot better than they actually are. 9-8 probably still gets you in the playoffs, probably still wins your division.
At this point, yeah.
So, no panic in that sense. And that gives you plenty of time to straighten out everything. That's if you lose out.
Which is probably not going to happen, right?
No. So you have plenty of time. You're guaranteed a playoff spot. You're basically already locked in. So you have a lot of time to work out what's going on after the bye week where your defense is horrible and Jared Goff's terrible.
Jared Goff, since the bye, under pressure, has a 0.6 QBR.
What?
That can't even be a real number, right?
I didn't know QBR got down to past like below 10.
Let alone below 0.
Below the legal limit.
Factually. Well, not 0.6. 0.6 is tanked.
0.06.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're
You're probably
destroyed,
dead.
dude.
You're probably dead.
I was watching this clip of cops, and this lady was like sitting on her porch, and she wasn't even doing anything. I think
She was on her porch.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's wrong with why are the
So-
cops there?
The cops come because something was going on like in their house. I think someone in the house called. It had nothing to do with her.
Well, she was on the porch.
But she started talking shit to the cops.
Of course.
Cops take
What
her.
are you doing here, nerd?
Cops have her blow, and she blew a .35 and was
She's at her house.
completely functional, dude. Like
She's at home.
I didn't know that you could get that high and not be passed out.
Hi.
Like the number .35 is wild.
I know. Well, she was at home just having beers.
I
Hanging
know
out on the porch, dude, minding her own business.
dude.
Just
How
having some beers,
Just
dude.
getting tanked on Saturday night.
it was during the day.
Yeah. Well, she
Well, she had to stop from the night before.
Yeah. This is carryover.
There's no way you wake up and then by noon you're at a .35.
Could happen.
But hey, man, porch beers hit. I don't blame her. Do not blame
They
her.
hit pretty hard.
They do.
One thing I can't get behind is a shower beer.
Really?
I
Not
like
a
'em.
fan.
Dude,
They're
shower
nice.
beers hit.
Not a fan.
Not as much for us because our work is so easy, but, manual labor, you get home after a long shift.
Yeah, if you're a blue collar guy, I guess. Yeah,
A shower beer is heaven.
that makes sense. What do you know about that?
I didn't drink back in the day at my actual job, so
So
I haven't had the true experience.
yours
I
are just
guess.
hitting
Yeah.
right now for
Yeah.
no reason.
Yeah, it's like Tuesday, I'm off. Shower beer, dude. Why not?
I think that's just called alcoholism.
One shower beer.
Just the urge to drink in the shower.
It's called being an American, dude.
Well, that's definitely synonyms there.
Yeah.
It started the same letters, right? Yeah, Jared Goff, 2 more picks, took 4 sacks, missed a couple throws. The Bears should have beat him the first game, but got the job done here. Great game for Fields. 58 on the ground, long rushing touchdown. Finally, his second score of the year after, 13 last year?
Yeah.
Finally running the ball a little bit more.
Well, everybody's gripe was that he was just running the ball and not throwing it. Now he's throwing the ball, and now everybody's saying he's not running
Just
it.
find the balance, right? All of a sudden, maybe the Bears trade that pick away. Maybe you keep Fields.
That's
There's
tough.
going to be a lot of weird stuff come draft
That's
time.
tough. I mean, I don't disagree, but I don't agree.
It's almost a lose-lose. What do you do?
Yeah. I need to see, like we talked about last week with the cut bench start, whatever, or cut extend one more or whatever it
Yeah.
was. You need to see one more out of Justin Fields.
I agree. I'm in the same boat.
But you don't have time to give him one more. Because it's like right now, if you're drafting a quarterback, you're drafting Caleb Williams or Drake May.
To start right away,
Yes.
not to compete with Fields.
No. So what do you do?
Who knows?
Maserati
tough
Marv?
call. Tough call. Come.
You get Marvin Harrison off rip?
I don't hate that. I mean, they need more weapons here. I can't wait for March or May, whenever the draft is. Let's go to Jets Texans. We touched on a little bit there earlier. Scoreless first half. A lot of injuries, bad weather. But Zach Wilson, redemption arc starts now.
Again?
Part 2 or part 3, really?
Part 2 of this season.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Yeah.
Against a pretty good Texans defense.
Yeah. Sneakily good.
I guess he said pregame to his teammates, like, what have I got to lose? Are they going to bench me again? I don't care. Just going to go out there and ball out. And he did.
I'd like to imagine he just turned his headset off. And he was just calling the plays.
I got this, boys.
Just going crazy. He's like, what are they going to do, release me? They pretty much already have.
Or like you said pre-show, maybe it was Rodgers saying, hey, man, get me to the playoffs, and you'll get a ring.
Yeah.
Because I'm coming back.
If you get me to the playoffs, I'll win you the Super Bowl.
How about your brownies?
You know, it's just good to see Joe Flacco finally hit his peak.
Has he hit it yet?
I think he's peaking.
I think he's about to peak.
Yeah. After 20 years of average play where
Mediocrity.
he was carried by his defense, never even top 10. It's finally time that we've seen what Joe Flacco's been holding back
Just cut him loose, boys.
for 20 years.
45 throwing attempts.
Yeah, unreal. I don't know why we're throwing the ball 45 times.
Well, when you got Joe Flacco, why not, right?
Yeah, but we did it last game against the Rams
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
And I'm like, what is happening, guys?
He loves David Njoku. 91 yards, 2 scores.
And for some reason, David Njoku doesn't drop the ball when Joe Flacco throws it to him.
Joe throws a more catchable ball.
I
Simple
mean,
as that.
DTR threw David Njoku the ball a lot too, and he dropped every single pass.
Flacco has a beautiful spiral, though.
Always has.
Yeah.
So did DTR.
Eh.
DTR was throwing balls I could catch,
Yeah, but
like with my mouth.
he's no Joe Flacco.
Well, there's only one Joe Flacco.
Joe Cool,
Yeah.
baby. The original Joe Cool.
Maybe not the original.
That is the original.
He was a Namath somewhere in there before that.
No, that wasn't he Hollywood, Joe Hollywood, or Hollywood Joe, or something
He had a lot
like
of
that.
nicknames. Broadway Joe.
Broadway Joe, that's
Then
what
he
it
had,
was.
Joe Montana.
He was a loser.
Anybody named Joe gets called Joe Cool at one point.
Yeah, but not officially. Madden
I was going to say they're Madden cards.
gave
Do
a
not say
card
Joe
to
Cool.
Joe Flacco that says Joe Cool as the name.
Well, if Madden says it, it's got to be correct, right?
Exactly. 93 overall. Happened before the Rams game.
We know he's not a 93 overall. Trevor Lawrence.
Facts.
3 pretty egregious picks thrown.
Yeah.
And I don't think he was going to play anyway. I was shocked that he did with the ankle injury, but
It was ugly.
it's a rough showing. You guys stopped the run very well. Only 35 yards for ETN.
They kept trying, though.
20 attempts.
Yeah.
You know,
they kept trying.
Lawrence
And
threw the ball 50 times.
props to them for continuously trying to run the ball because Kevin Stefanski really needs to take some notes there.
He definitely aborts too quickly. Oh, 2 stop carries. Guess what, Joe? 55 times.
Yeah.
Let it ride. Big games for Evan Engram. Here's a fun one for you. Ridley and Jones combined 27 targets, 9 catches. That Brown secondary, man.
What are you going to do?
Locking guys up.
Hey, they heard me gripe last week. Whoever's playing on the right side of the field, Denzel Ward's not there.
I noticed the middle was not getting torn up.
No, it wasn't.
Maybe they heard that too.
Schwartz, thanks for tuning in, brother.
Jake Browning. Continuing to win games.
When they shouldn't be. We talked about it last week. They should not be trying to win games.
Apparently everyone hates me for that, by the way.
Why?
Because top 10 picks are terrible. Why do you want them?
I was going to say, here's Shane repeating your words yet again.
Apparently top 10 picks are never good.
I feel like that doesn't check out.
That's what I said.
The point of work was, I don't know how much difference there's between the 10th pick and the 19th pick.
There's 9.
When I said they should lose out, they had 5 wins.
Correct.
They
But
probably
you didn't
would've
know
had-
Jake Browning was MVP level.
They would have had probably a top 7 pick.
Okay, again, if you miss that pick, though, whether you're picking 7th or 19th, does it really matter that much? You got to get the pick right, no matter where you're at.
Yeah, and they will.
We don't know that.
But now they're just going to draft in the 20s. They're going to draft an offensive lineman, maybe,
Who's an all-pro guard in 2 years?
probably not. The Bengals have swung and missed on every offensive lineman they've drafted, except Anthony Munoz.
You get your one there.
Do you draft? I mean, you're going to have to draft some defenders. So do you use your first-round pick there? Like, what do you do?
Oh, so you probably get more hate from Bengals fan than anybody else I know.
And I think I'm pretty reasonable when it comes to the Bengals.
But also, you do intentionally stir things up with Bengals fans also. It's fun.
Well, my thing is, if the Browns had Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow went down and we had 5 wins and the season was looking grim, make it grim. I would want the Browns to tank and get an early pick. The difference is, I'd never want the Browns to tank because then the Texans get an early pick. It doesn't benefit us at all. If we had the opportunity to get an early pick, I would have said lose every game when Deshaun Watson went down. But we don't get our draft picks. So we have to have a good record so the Texans don't benefit. And they're already a really good team just from one draft.
And here's one thing I do want to bring up, too. I know Shane had a lot of thoughts on this with Flacco, the 54th man on the roster, you were saying earlier?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, how'd that work out? Because I don't really understand that at all. I don't think Cam does either. How does that work, really?
So he's still signed to their practice team, which means that any team, if they wanted to, they could just give him a contract, and then he's not on the Browns.
Yeah, he has to sign it.
So you're worried about that, right? As a resident Browns fan here,
Yes.
a little concerned?
Yeah, that means he has to sign the contract he's offered to go be a backup somewhere. And he's going to give up his starting quarterback position to go sign with a team that's going to offer him $2 million.
Exactly.
Man, I'd be
Yeah.
scared about that, too, honestly.
That's what I'd be worried about.
Are you worried, Cam?
No.
Huh.
Not at all. He
Wonder
is
why.
literally signed to the practice squad, so we have 3 quarterbacks. That's the only reason. It has nothing to do with the roster count.
I know. We talked about this earlier. I understand it.
Yeah, but you guys never really came to a conclusion on that.
We didn't.
I mean, I don't know.
Because you think the Steelers are just going to go offer him $50 million to be their backup for no reason.
They could.
No, they can't. They can't. Nobody's even thought about it.
Maybe they
Nobody
should.
is that scared of the Browns where they're like, oh, we got to go make sure we sign Joe Flacco.
Got to steal Flacco away.
We have to give him $75 million. Why? Because guess what, Shane? We were still winning games with P.J. Walker. Remember that?
I do.
So it doesn't matter. We're winning games more. Not really. He's 1-1. Is he really that big of a threat?
Yes. This guy just asked, is Joe Flacco even a threat? The man has a Super Bowl ring. He's elite.
Go on.
He's elite. He is a threat.
He is.
Yes.
So if Nick Foles came back into the league right now, he'd be a threat.
He's a threat. Massive threat.
Trent Dilfer out of retirement.
You don't even know who that is.
I was going to say.
Super Bowl ring.
No idea.
You don't know who that is? He's a Super Bowl dude. Jimmy Garoppolo. He's got a Super Bowl.
He's got like 3.
I do know him.
He got benched.
Yeah, but he didn't play in the Super Bowl. He
Go,
didn't.
Go look up Joe Flacco's Super Bowl stats. He didn't even play.
Yes, he did.
Hey, that was a great postseason run, though. 11 tutties, no picks.
Elite.
Through the whole postseason. I think
Elite.
he had like 2 touchdowns in the Super Bowl, if that.
But that was, 13 years ago, Shane.
Elite.
Which I'm surprised you remember that, actually.
He doesn't.
I do.
He Googled Joe Flacco when the Browns signed him.
I'm not stupid.
Who? You are, though.
I'm not.
Because Joe Flacco's been a mediocre quarterback his entire career.
He's elite, dude.
I just say it to be funny.
He's elite.
I think you're serious.
I don't know.
I think
I
he's
think
serious.
he is, but I'm on the fence still.
And he'll say it's a bit now,
See, here's the problem.
but originally I think he was being serious.
You're a true Browns fan,
Yes.
the eternal pessimist, right?
Yes.
You've been through the bad times.
Yes.
Shane's still kind of green, He still has hope.
That's
He still believes.
where he goofed up, dude.
You know,
I've tried
maybe-
telling him to switch back.
He's young and naive. I get
Too late.
wanting to believe in your team. He'll learn eventually. He'll learn.
You'll learn.
Whoa, breaking news here, actually. Seahawks offer contract to Joe Flacco. 2 years, $87 million.
Crazy how that works.
They said, quote, he's not going to start, but we can't let the Browns keep him. Pete Carroll making moves out there.
Oh, man.
How about the aforementioned Buffalo KC game? What are the Bills? And honestly, what are the Chiefs?
Yes.
Are they both good? Who's better? Are they both contenders? Seriously?
I mean, they're both good
Sometimes.
most of the time.
Sometimes.
The Chiefs are good more than the Bills are.
But I think on their game, the Bills are a lot better.
Correct.
But they're never on their game.
Also true.
I don't understand. Even, honestly, the entire AFC, I really don't understand.
Don't even try.
Even the Jags with T-Law, a lot of question marks. Ravens, I'm still not totally sold on.
I don't know what's happening.
At this point, hell, let's have the Brownie Super Bowl. Why not? That would be a definitely top sports story of all time. Elite Joe Flacco coming in mid-season.
Not even mid at the end.
Pretty much at
Of the
this point, we're
season.
week 14 now.
But by the end of the season, he has more passing attempts than starters who played 17 games.
He's well on that pace.
He already almost has more touchdowns than Kenny Pickett did this year.
Oh, that's a pretty low bar.
That's very easy to do.
But does he have more than
Kenny
Bailey
Pickett's
Zappi?
had one multi-touchdown game his entire career.
But you can blame Matt Canada for that a little bit.
It was with Matt Canada.
Well, yeah, even a broken clock is right twice a day.
I think since like 2019, the Steelers have not had a single game with 250 passing yards and 2 touchdowns.
We put those stats out a few weeks ago. As soon as they fired Canada, it was a long, long stretch of not good offense.
No. This one's 250 with multiple touchdowns.
That's a whole different stat by itself then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still hasn't happened. They got the yards.
Until they bring in Joe Flacco from the Browns practice squad.
Maybe.
Hey, dude, if they wanted to do it, they knew who to call.
Yeah. They should have maybe called him before if they were looking.
They could still do it.
Turns out nobody was looking for Joe Flacco.
Yeah. Nobody
It's
is.
weird 'cause he's elite. You'd think teams would be all over
Yeah,
that.
you would think, right?
What are you going to do? And then, let's see, Sunday night, Dallas-Philly. Thought we should win. Didn't see us shutting them out of the end zone
Whew.
and dominating offensively and running up the gut with Tony Pollard. What the hell was that? Against the Eagles front, of all people? Now, there's the one downside, the Dak fumble that Carter picked up and scored in, but offensively, locked him down. Turns out, 4th down's a lot harder to convert when they're not 4th and 1.
That is true.
Stop the run game. Hurts looked a little shaken up for the first time that I've seen, at least. Good pass rush, great coverage. Dak playing MVP level football.
Deron Bland was on his game today.
And he redeemed himself. Everybody gets one bad week, One bad week. Just keep it at 1.
Is that what you were saying when Trayvon Diggs was doing what Deron Bland's doing?
No, come on, he had great weeks. Led the league in picks, dude. Come on. Also, touchdowns burned on, but what are you going to do? It's give and take. And yet, I'm still in the worst spot possible because now I have, like Shane, legitimate
Your
hope.
hopes are building.
Now I know we can beat Philly. I'm still not sold really at all that we can beat San Fran. But like the Bills, when Dallas is on their game, they can beat anybody.
Maybe, except San Francisco.
So I'm just building myself up for the same thing as years past. Complete disappointment.
Yeah, except for the first round.
Well, that's, come on. We'll play Atlanta probably. But now all of a sudden, tie for the division.
I was going to say you guys could be the 2 seed.
We're the 2 seed now.
Because I don't know what the other tiebreakers are, but you guys both got stomped out by the Niners.
Destroyed.
So
Yeah.
you guys both have that 1-1. Who's Philly's other 2 losses? Or are they at 4 now? It's 3, right?
Yeah, they're still at 10-3. Yeah.
Who's their other 2 losses? Niners,
Us,
Cowboys.
Niners, and look, it's early.
Was it the Jets?
It was the Jets. Good call on that. Yeah, week 6.
Did you guys beat the Jets?
We destroyed the Jets. Week 2.
There you go.
Shut them out.
So far, you have the tiebreakers.
Only advantage, like we touched on, is our schedule gets very difficult. We still have Bills and Dolphins. They have the Giants twice, which
So you have the Bills and the Bills.
all of it. Yeah. Which one's the actual Bills though?
Who knows, dude?
That's next up, Monday night. Which, first of all, we hate the dual Monday night games, right?
I do, but I'm glad they were both good.
Entertaining, at least. That worked out well
So I wasn't too upset for this one.
because you're not a Dolphins fan.
Yeah.
Titans, the first team in history to be down 14 with 3 minutes or less to go and win the game.
Does that check out? I
That's-
thought Joe Flacco led the Jets to beating the Browns down. No, I think they got 2 touchdowns, but I think they were down like 12
That's the stat I read, at least.
is what it was. But Joe Flacco did it, I think, last year.
That was last year.
Garrett Wilson torched
When he
us.
was elite, you know.
Yeah, when he was elite.
Still is, some would say.
Some. I think one would say.
That's crazy. That sounds like an elite thing to do.
Well, they were actually all Garrett Wilson yak, not Joe Flacco doing anything.
Joe got the ball to him, did he not?
Got a dub. The only stat that matters.
He did.
That is true, but they also got the ball twice, which was on their defense, which doesn't shock me because Joe Flacco's always been carried by a good
Yeah,
defense
you know.
anyways.
Yeah,
Still
but
is,
He
some
threw
would
the
say.
touchdowns.
Still is. Exactly.
And the other game there, maybe my new favorite player in history. Firstly, his family's incredible. Now we see his agent,
Yeah.
who is straight out of Goodfellas.
Who is I think that it might be him in that picture there.
Could be. Black pinstripe suit, fedora, big gold chain. Probably names like Carlo Santini, something like that.
Definitely checks out.
Old family friend. That's why he's Tommy's agent.
Definitely.
But Tommy Cutlets leading the game-winning drive there at the end. Played a great game. Mentioned earlier, the first guy to have 220 in the air, 70 rushing, no sacks, no turnovers. And yet, what's the point?
Yeah. You're losing
Because you
your
have
job.
to start Danny Dimes next year.
Do you just get signed somewhere else? You can't. You can't play anywhere besides New York.
That'd be a travesty.
I don't understand this whole thing that they have to play Daniel Jones. You paid the guy, but you don't have to play him.
You do, though.
You don't.
do.
You know?
You
don't.
literally do.
If it was like year 6 of the contract, okay, that's one thing. But they just paid him.
Yeah, but if Tommy DeVito's
how that
obviously a
works.
better quarterback, why would you
It's
play
not how
him?
that works.
To be fair, we don't know if he's obviously better.
We
Small
don't.
sample size.
Daniel Jones was in the playoffs last year.
Tommy DeVito is the Italian stallion, so
Nope,
that doesn't even
That's
matter.
Sylvester Stallone.
No.
Well, he's a new one. But passing Paisano is a lot better.
He's like the Italian calf. I don't
No
know what
calf.
a baby horse is called.
Full.
Foal. He's the
Yeah.
Italian foal.
That doesn't even have a ring to it, dude. That's a horrible nickname.
Well, the other
nobody
nickname's
calls him that, you
already
know?
taken. He's got 2 that we've talked about on show, and you failed to say either of
That
them.
are way better, too.
the Italian stallion is a good nickname.
It is, but it's
For Sylvester
you know,
Stallone.
yeah, it's already taken.
You could use it for him.
Because he is the actual Italian stallion. Tommy DeVito is not a stallion at all.
He is.
He's
Soon
a
to be.
racehorse,
Soon to be.
but he is a thin fella, not much of a stallion. He's a
stallion.
racehorse. Maybe he's the jockey riding the Italian stallion.
What do you think Danny Dimes is thinking during these past 4 weeks?
I lost the locker room.
He's probably laughing like, I'm getting $45 million a year either way, dude.
Tommy could be like I want to say next version because the other guy's still playing, but Gardner Minshew-esque. Backup, great locker room dude. If need be, he's going to come in and win you some games. Not going to be a top 15 kind of guy.
It could be the next Peyton Manning.
Well, we just don't know.
We don't.
Peyton Manning also, I think they called him the Italian Stallion, if I remember correctly.
I do believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
Not the real nickname he has, the Sheriff. I don't think anybody actually called
Nope,
him that.
never
I think
heard that
they
before.
Just called him the Italian Stallion.
Never heard that. That's fake news.
Yeah. Baker, the Italian Stallion Mayfield. I've heard
Legend
that.
right
Yeah,
there.
legendary. Arnold, the Italian Stallion Schwarzenegger.
Oh, I think he was the first one, actually.
Yeah.
Jean-Claude, Italian Stallion Van Damme.
Yeah. Rob, the Italian Stallion Van Damme.
RVD, baby. Let's go.
RISVD, dude.
God, Shane, you bring so much to the show. You really do.
Do I though?
Yeah, absolutely. This is content.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
I see the best part is you guys don't even know. He's playing a character. And he's so good at playing this character that you think it's real. You think he's just some goofy guy. Shane is...
And it's so funny because he plays this character every day, every hour of his entire life.
he's fully committed. He's like Tim Robinson, A true comedic genius. Off show, all Shane talks about is like Russian
Philosophy.
literature. Yeah.
Big philosophy guy.
Like, bro, we're not really on that level with you yet.
Yeah, so then he just goes back to playing dumb old Shane.
Just to fit in with us.
Yeah. He has to drop his intelligence level down probably at least 52 notches,
If not more.
if not more. He really cranks it back.
I'd give the man an Oscar myself, personally.
I heard down the grapevine that you were doing your girlfriend's law homework. I don't know how true that is, but that's just what I've
I didn't want to say that on air because maybe the university gets wind of that.
yeah.
But yeah, you're acing every quiz, every test.
I tried the practice test that she has to do to get into law school, and those are the stupidest questions I've ever read.
Yeah,
in my
Because
life.
they're so far below you.
Yeah, I mean when
It's like me taking a kindergarten test. Like, what's the point?
Exactly, and I'd probably still get like a 75.
No. Like
That passes.
it literally has nothing to do with law. It's like if this pie is cut this way for this many people, but this person wants this big of a piece, this person wants this big of a piece.
That sounds like a civil case. That is law.
Definitely.
No, not law. It's dumb.
That's a civil case, brother.
Not at all.
That happened like 2 weeks ago. A guy
No.
sued because he got too small of a piece of pie.
No.
That's a civil case, dude.
And that's probably there's a lot worse than that. So what's your grade?
Oh, I didn't finish it.
Because again, it's not even worth your time.
Exactly.
Like, you knew it'd be 100, so why waste myself?
Yeah.
I'm going to go read more Kafka.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe one day we'll have Shane out of character on show.
Unnecessary.
You guys probably wouldn't follow because it's a
It's
whole
tough,
different
dude.
thing,
Sometimes he speaks Russian. Sometimes he speaks Italian. Sometimes he goes into ancient Greek.
I've heard full Latin before,
Yeah,
which is honestly just pretty impressive.
it really is. I've seen him. I don't know. I mean, obviously I'm dumb, but he did say he could translate hieroglyphs.
And I fully believe that. I tried to. I thought a camel was a camel.
That's
Apparently not.
Shane schooled us on
It's
that.
this whole other thing. I didn't really soak that information in.
I think-
it's too much.
He'd be the one person that could go into like one of those ancient caves and just know what those guys were talking about in their drawings.
And who the guys actually were.
Yeah, because they sign them. We just think it's nonsense.
But he
But
knows, like,
he
dude,
knows
that's
the signatures.
famous artist from like 890 AD
Yeah,
drawing cave drawings. So I appreciate you, coming down to our level just to make the show fun. Honestly, you're a selfless fella, and it goes a long way.
Yeah, man, no problem.
Even just to have the drinks and cigars with us, like
I'm
he's
shocked.
he's a pipe
Yeah.
guy and a very fine wine guy.
But he does say, I mean, I guess
I'll have your American swill.
I'll take a pour.
I'll act like it's good. Whatever. How about some power rankings here? Well, actually, game of the week. Let's do new game of the week picks,
I'm going Broncos Lions.
which I love. Big game for both teams.
Yeah, both must win for both teams, especially the Broncos,
Especially for you.
especially for me.
Because all of a sudden, again, with the Chiefs being who knows what, division there is still up in the air.
The Broncos may not be the number one seed in the AFC. They may end up being the number one seed in the AFC right now, but it looks like they still have a chance to win their division.
If they wanted to win the ring this year, because they're close, they're very close, but there's one piece they're missing. They could probably trade for.
Joe Flacco,
Of course, dude.
they could just sign him.
Bring him in.
What do you need to trade him for?
We got to give the Browns some incentive,
Yeah, you're taking Joe Flacco off their hands.
Well, they wouldn't give up that easily.
He's on the practice squad. There's nothing they can do.
And then Detroit, get back in rhythm here. Fix your defense.
Yeah. Though, I mean, you know what Russell Wilson's capable of. It's not super sexy. It gets the job done.
He's going to move the ball at least.
So, great time to settle out all those quirks.
Yeah, I was going to say quarks is as Shane would know, of course, is a chemistry term.
Kinks is what I was thinking.
Yeah. Quarks would kind of work too, but Shane, your game of the week.
I'm going Tampa and Green Bay
Battle of the Bays.
because there's no way that Tampa is going to let themselves go into the playoffs with a losing record, right?
Well, not if Baker Mayfield has anything to do about it.
That division's pretty capable.
No.
They're
but,
used to it.
For Baker's pride, he will not let that happen.
Man does have a lot of pride.
He does.
As he should.
And it starts this week.
I would love for him to be their franchise quarterback.
I would too.
At this point, why not? Again, what are you going to do? Draft somebody 21st overall and have him sit a year and develop it? Or stick with a guy like Gardner, like the Italian Stallion, a true locker room fella?
Exactly.
I'm going to go with a lot of weird games this week that probably shouldn't be good. Go to Eagles Seahawks Monday night. Kind of like your pick. Both teams need to figure some things out here. Philly on a losing streak, getting blown out both games
Bad.
against suddenly an offense in Seattle that's clicking pretty well right now.
Definitely
Torch
not
Dallas, torch
not-
Baltimore.
Not an easy team to beat.
So big time matchup for both teams. Seattle's still in the wild card hunt.
Big time matchup for Dallas.
Yeah, would love to have another loss here for Philly. And then we got the Bills, so must win for us too. Now our power rankings. Shane, who's in the 5 spot?
Number 5, we got the Cleveland Browns, led by elite quarterback Joe Flacco.
Unsigned quarterback Joe Flacco.
But
That is.
back into the rankings.
Joe the Italian Stallion Flacco.
I'm just going to change that where we're Browns and just put Joe Flacco. Because he's really the sole reason they're winning right now. 4, of course, is Baltimore. Still winning, but not totally
Sneaking
sold.
by.
Yeah. They should be winning by bigger margins than they are.
Agreed.
Philly down to 3.
Obviously, because they swapped with Cowboys at 2.
I was going to say, you could. It's tough to drop them further. They played the 2 best teams in the NFC. Yeah, those games weren't close, but they've been banged up too.
And they're the 3rd best team
And they're
in the NFC.
definitely still the 3rd best team. Not just the NFC, but in all of football.
Yeah,
I still
which
think.
the 2 best teams in the NFC are the 2 best teams in football, so we can extend that to top 3.
Dallas, Niners, 2-1, of course. Let's go to sleepers of the week. Let's go over actually our SNS playoffs here first.
I snuck in a must-win game last week. DeAndre Hopkins came up huge.
When you needed him the most, he answered the call.
Yeah, I needed D-Hop and Devon A-Chain to put up a total of 2 points to win. And I ended up winning by 40. So,
Just an extra little cushion there.
yeah, pretty happy with it. Team overall played really well. Njoku in, obviously. Dallas's kicker, Brandon Aubrey. Nice 23 points.
MVP, by the way.
There
Justin
wa-
Tucker, who?
Who?
Exactly. Brandon Aubrey, elite. Take that to the bank. So your division winners in the toughest division in our league, where the worst team was myself at 6-8. The winner, 9-5.
None other than the Shirt Brothers.
Shane Brook.
Dude, what can I say? I just drafted an amazing team.
You backed up your
Shane,
talk.
The Italian Stallion Brook.
And
Did you think of that yourself?
I did look at it. I'm pretty sure if I played literally any other team this week, I would have lost.
You know what? But you didn't, though. You played the one
I
team you
did.
had to beat,
Exactly.
and you beat him.
And you had Zay Flowers on your bench.
I did. But look at who I started. You can't really even blame me. Like, how was I supposed to know Mike Evans would put up 1.8?
I mean, that is true.
The West Division, Mr. Larry Vaughn, the 1 seed at 11-3. And in the North, where Cam got the wild card, Matt Gordon, 10-4.
Just snuck in.
Then you have the Kashyyyk Wookiees as a wild card.
First round, 2, 8, and 6 teams battle it out. Me and the Kashyyyk Wookiees, otherwise known as Trey Shepard. Shane, the 3 seed, takes on the 6, passing TDs. Then the 1 and 2 obviously get buys. I basically get a bye with my matchup here too. So
Feeling confident, huh?
3 buys this week. I mean, I got Allen, Josh Allen, Devon A-Chain's back healthy, Christian McCaffrey. Probably, I'm at a toss-up. Do I want Javonte Williams or do I want Josh Jacobs? I just don't know.
You got to go Javonte against Detroit, right?
Josh Jacobs against the Chargers?
Fair point. 2 good matchups there.
And then I'm going to rock with the Dolphins defense against the Jets.
Right now, Shane's matchup is a dead heat projected, 51% to 49%. How do you feel going into your first round? With Tyreek a little bit banged up.
That's honestly the only thing I'm scared about, because if Tyreek doesn't put up 20, I usually lose. And if he doesn't play, that means that I'm forced to probably play Zay Flowers, who's probably been one of the most inconsistent good receivers.
Here's my main question for this team, at least. Can you win a fantasy championship with Jared Goff as your quarterback?
No, I put in a claim for Joe Flacco. Jared Goff is not starting.
Whoa. Can you win a fantasy title with Joe Flacco at your quarterback?
I absolutely can, because he cannot do worse than Jared Goff has done for the past 3 weeks.
We'll see.
So for you in the playoffs, we got 2 of us. So our chances of winning, for the show at least, 33%, if my math is correct. Shane, want to check that?
Yeah, checks out.
Not one of your strong suits. One of your PhDs, at least.
One of many.
So if, again, Shane or Cam happens to win, then the highest placing fan will get the award,
Correct.
which we've not decided on yet, I don't think.
Surprise.
But it's going to be nice, I'll tell you that.
Will be. Potentially, maybe a show spot, if that's feasible.
We'll fly Larry up from down
Little
south.
guest appearance.
Get him on here.
Definitely get you guys some merch, maybe a cigar pack. Depends on what you're into. We'll figure it out. We'll get a personalized number 1 placement for the person who comes in first, fan-wise, or potentially wins.
And maybe a job.
Could
Maybe
be.
a executive producer slot. Or if anything, maybe a co-host spot, because only one of us missed the playoffs.
That is true.
So it's only fair.
It is. It's a shame I'll have to take that Pete Rose out of the studio.
Gone.
Because obviously, this is all S&S owned now.
Oh, of course.
So you're going to lose a lot of merch here.
Hopefully a Red fan takes over.
Or a Cowboy fan.
There's plenty of those out there.
Yeah. Shane can just be our resident Reds fan.
I mean, he's yet to copy one of my teams, so he's due, right?
He doesn't have a baseball team, right?
I don't have a baseball team.
Well,
It's
there's
going to be the Red
no
Legs.
better
Ellie De La
time.
Cruz is a lot of fun to watch.
I feel like I can't pick the Reds, though, or else this thing that I copy teams is just never going to go away.
I mean,
Well, I mean, why should it? It's not a bad thing, per se.
you haven't copied the 76ers, right?
No.
You don't know anybody that likes the 76ers. Colton's a Boston fan, so
Let's go to sleeper of the week, boys. Third place, picking first, Mr. Shane himself. After he was so confident he had won.
I
he
was
texted
pretty
me, he's
confident.
like, dude, I definitely won this week.
It was
Thanks.
close. It was close all 3 ways.
Thanks for playing.
I didn't
Try
realize
again.
that I had
Go
2
next.
people with 0.
Go next.
But I took the elite man himself, Joe Flacco.
This guy is all in on Joe Flacco. I wish somebody believed in me as much as Shane believes in Joe Flacco.
I've seen this belief before, and it was Bull at one time.
Whoa.
So
We know how he stands
this
on that
could
now.
very quickly go south.
The second pick and second place finisher is Cam.
Are we not just reading our teams anymore?
Oh, we can.
Give me your QB first. I guess we know the order now. But yeah, I won last week again by 10 points. And then Cam was second by 10 points. So close matchup. But that puts me at 6 wins on the year, 4 for Cam and 3 for Shane.
I went with the guy that Shane has no belief in and actually benched Joe Flacco in real fantasy for, Jared Goff.
And I went Desmond Ritter. Now, Shane, give us the rest of your team except for the flex.
I went Chuba Hubbard, Austin Eckler, Elijah Moore, Zay Flowers, and Cole Kmet.
Cam.
Saquon Barkley, Kareem Hunt, Amari Cooper, Scary Terry McLaurin, and Jake Fergmeister.
The one and only. I went DeAndre Swift, Keaton Mitchell, comboed up with Drizzy Drake London. Jerry Judy's bound to have a good game eventually, right? Hopefully against the terrible Lions defense all of a sudden, which means the 1 week they'll figure things out and hold Judy to 1 catch, 3 yards. And then David Njoku as my tight end.
Just to take that from Shane.
Now at flex, something a little different this week. We decided why not do a super flex and put quarterbacks in play because after the 1 and 12 are not eligible for draft, not a whole lot to choose from in that 12 to 30 range.
Me and Austin dug deep. Shane went with a guy who's going to get him 15, but no more, no less.
Exactly, and that's all I need. Russell Wilson.
Got to be consistent
I hope you lose by 15.
because our guys are putting up 30.
Exactly.
Jared Goff put up 6.
That was 1 week.
1 week.
And then he put up 8 the week before that.
That's 2 weeks.
And I want to say he put up less than 10 the week before that,
That's
too.
3 weeks, you know? What are you going to do? Cam Superflex. Talk about digging deep.
Went with a guy who's on fire.
A guy who's actually elite.
He's on fire. And I don't even know if it's up in the air that he's even going to start this week. I don't know what's happening over there. But in my opinion, it's time for the Chiefs to get zapped. And I went Bailey Zappi.
45 points guaranteed
Minimum.
in the first half.
That's the under. Over under.
Well, I'm pounding the over all day.
Yeah.
Speaking of the over, I couldn't have a super flex. Even though it's a tough matchup against New Orleans, I got to take my guy, my blood brother, so to speak, my countryman, Tommy Cutlets, the Italian stallion, the passing paisano, Tommy DeVito.
It's going to be a fun one. First introduction of Superflex. I think we're going to keep it.
I like it a lot, honestly, because again, there's no guarantee you're going to take a quarterback.
No, because, I mean, even outside of like Bailey Zappi and Tommy DeVito, it's like Gardner Minshew, guys who are hurt and out for the year. Nick Mullins. Like, you got to dig pretty deep on QBs, so you might be better off with a wide receiver or a running back. But not this week.
Definitely not this week.
Maybe we'll just get 70, 75, and 72 just out of our Superflex, and everyone else drops goose eggs.
Hey, a win's a win, though. As long as you got that 75. Let's go to the NBA now. With the conclusion of the NBA Cup, which title still work in progress.
I was so close. The Pacers.
But no cigar.
The Pacers needed to step it up.
And the first ever MVP of the in-season tournament. Well deserved, right?
Defaulted to LeBron. If the Lakers won, we knew LeBron was going to get it. I mean, they couldn't have won without Anthony Davis. I think he averaged like 27, 15 with 5 assists, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. It was outrageous.
And then dropped 40, 20, and 5 assists.
Yeah, with I think like 3 blocks also in the championship. It was outrageous what Anthony Davis did. Unfortunately, you'll never be able to beat LeBron out of those kind of awards. Even if they win the finals this year, he could average 55, 32, 15 steals, 15 blocks, 25 assists. LeBron could have played 5 minutes a game, and LeBron would win finals MVP.
Guaranteed, locked up.
But, yeah. Congratulations to the Lakers. I believe you said they're hanging up a banner.
Yeah, which I don't really love. They have so many championship banners up there, right? If it was a team like the Pacers, who their rafters are pretty empty, hang a banner. That's cool. You know, something to celebrate this year. But if you're a team like LA who's expected to compete for an actual title, I don't like the look of hanging a mid-season banner.
What do you think, boss?
I think it's kind of it makes it look a lot more than it is.
If the Sixers won the in-season tournament,
no,
you wouldn't want a banner, right?
No, I think you're right. I think if you're smaller, like say the Magic one or something, yeah, go ahead and hang it. But when your entire rafters are already filled with real titles, putting up the mid-season tournament, it's a bad look.
Not even just full rafters, but competing right now. Like if the Bulls won the tournament, hang that banner because you're trash right now.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter you have 6 already up there. We're talking about the team right now. So it's a different size and color than the actual championship banners, but just the whole thing, I don't know. Not a fan. Shane wanted to go over the new best player of all time. Headband Dad Luka.
That man's crazy.
Where's the dad coming into play?
You just had a new baby,
Oh,
like 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
if that.
I didn't know if they were like saying like Dad Bod. And I'm like, he's kind of had that the whole time.
That would also apply,
But just Headband Luka is a different breed.
That video of him mocking the Grizzly fans is hilarious.
He's been balling out of control. Winning without Kyrie, no issue.
I mean, he's done it before.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the real thing Shane wanted to talk about, one of the few things he brought of his own idea today on the outline. Take it away.
The Pistons are horrible.
That's kind of a hot take.
They're 0-20 in their last 20 games. And
will they get a win in December?
they may not.
They'll be the first team ever to be winless in November and December.
If there's a team to do it, it's going to be them. And Wingstop is so happy about that right now. Because in the city of Detroit, Wingstop is running a promo that you get 5 free wings for every time the Pistons win. But they started that at the beginning of the season. And they have
So
not
only
had-
2 times have they had to pony up on that.
Exactly.
So rest of this month, they have the Sixers back-to-back, then at the Bucks, at the Hawks, host the Jazz, back-to-back with the Nets, Celtics, Raptors.
They might win against the Raptors.
I don't know, man.
They
So
might.
the worst record in NBA history
Probably
is
the Bobcats.
34-48 at a 106 winning percentage.
Was I correct with the...
Yes,
Charlotte,
the Charlotte
for sure.
Bobcats.
Wait, what did you say on that? You say 34 and 48?
No, they were 7 and
they
59.
won 7 games. Yeah.
Why does it say 34 and 58 then? Oh, from the previous season they were 34 and 48, then went 7 and
Okay.
59.
Okay. Yeah, pretty steep decline there.
They're definitely on pace to do it. I mean...
They're 2 and 21 right now.
Yeah. So, I mean, they just have to do what they've already done.
Wow.
for the
Sixers
game.
on there twice in the top 5.
I believe it.
9 and 73 and 10 and 72.
I believe it.
One was in 1973, the other one was 2016.
Yes, they trust the process. Yeah, none of these games are, I don't even want to say winnable. They're not beating Philly, not beating Milwaukee, not beating Boston. Shouldn't beat the Nets. Shouldn't beat the Hawks. Maybe the Jazz and Raptors.
I don't think they beat the Jazz either, though.
But now they're so bad that any team that plays them is like, guys, we can't lose.
They write them off, dude.
If we lose, like, there's a serious problem here. Like, don't take tonight off.
you don't want to be the team that gives them their first win in 20 games.
Definitely not.
That's a rough plane ride home.
Yeah, that's one streak you don't want to break.
However, it is now time to do our award prediction recap for the first time in the NBA. I've still got a chance for a couple.
Yeah, I don't feel terrible about mine.
Jason Tatum MVPs plus 1,400 at 6th place. My most improved was Jamal Murray, but he is still having injury issues, so that's not going to happen. 6th man of the year, Rui Hachimura. I didn't know Austin Reeves was going to come off the bench, or I would have picked him.
Apparently, he qualifies.
DPOY, Drew Holiday, he's plus 3,000, he's top 10. And obviously, Chet Holmgren is the favorite. My bold predictions were Dame first team All Pro and Shai second team. Shai will probably be first team. If Dame drastically improves, he can make second team maybe. And then conference finals, Celtics versus Bucks, Suns versus Lakers. Obviously, both of those look really good. The finals, Suns versus C's. We'll see when that time comes. Jason Tatum finals MVP, obviously.
Captain Shane.
You know, I didn't do as bad as I thought I'd do, but there's one call on here that just takes my entire list down.
Well, even just like getting 2 right is impressive.
I don't know if I recall the one that you're talking about.
The one I'm talking about is Rookie of the Year Grady Dick at plus 50,000.
That was a bold prediction
Put
there.
the mortgage on it.
You know?
We do not give any financial advice. Put the mortgage on it.
Exactly. But 6th man of the year is looking all right. Malcolm Brogdon at plus 900. Most improved player Cam Thomas. I couldn't find any odds on him, but if he doesn't get injured again,
I love
He
how
could
that
get it.
wasn't one of your, like, one of them is really bad. He doesn't even have odds, but it
Well,
was
no,
plus
it's because-
50,000 Grady Dick.
It's because Cam Thomas has been injured, so that's probably why he's not
and
like.
preseason, that was a great pick.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, because it's kicked off and he was averaging 35 a game again.
Exactly. But MVP Giannis plus 1,100, DPOY Giannis plus 5,000.
I forgot you doubled down on that.
I
Yeah.
did.
Too.
I did. And then my bold prediction was Jordan Poole putting up James Harden scoring numbers.
James Harden shot attempt numbers.
How far are we off on that? What's he averaging? Like 15?
16.
Yeah, so less than half,
Yeah.
Yeah. On the same number of shots.
Yeah.
if not more. And your conference finals?
Oh, I didn't even write those down. I thought we were just doing awards.
Wow, okay. My MVP, Giannis as well, 5th place right now. DPOY was Bam Adebayo, who
For
was
some reason, I
not,
thought you went Luca.
No, I said I want to go Luka, and I'll be pissed if he wins and I didn't take him.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
But Bam is not listed on FanDuel in odds. I don't know why. Most improved, Shaden Sharp, good year, plus 3,000. He's like 3rd place. 6th man, Emmanuel Quickly, plus 550. Again, behind Austin Reeves, who we did not know was going to be a 6th man. The one glaring one on mine is Rookie of the Year. I'm with Scoot Henderson.
Yikes.
Not been good so far. Devoted to the G League briefly.
Somehow still better odds than my guy.
I think because he has more potential to turn things around, maybe.
Yeah.
And in a bigger role, at least. My best record was Phoenix. And my bold prediction, which you guys laughed at, Kawhi Leonard playing 65 games. Him and Playoff P have actually played more games together already than the Harden, Durant, Irving Nets.
Okay, that's
not hard to do.
that's like 5 games, dude.
But 2 guys known for missing a ton of time. Now, not saying he's not going to, break his ankle tomorrow. Could always happen, but so far, so good. In my finals matchups, I had the Bucks over the Cavs in the East, the Nugs over the Warriors in the West, and the Nuggets repeating over the Bucks in the finals, with, of course, Jokic as MVP.
Checks out.
I did find my my predictions. I said Eastern Conference Finals is going to be Milwaukee and Cleveland. Western Conference Finals, Golden State, Sacramento. And then the actual finals, Golden State, Milwaukee. Not the worst. I mean, it could still happen. I think the worst pick out of there is probably Golden State right now.
Yeah, for sure right now.
But, I mean, it's Golden State. They'll turn it around. More than likely.
Unless you bring in prime Klay Thompson back. That'd be nice, right?
Wouldn't it?
Draymond stops getting ejected from every single game.
Hey, you know what? Rudy Gobert had it coming. All right?
Yeah, apparently.
He did. He had it coming.
Let's talk UFC 297.
One of the, probably the second best card of the year,
It's
at
up
least
there.
on paper. Let's go prelims first, because the whole main card is stacked. There's some great fights in the prelims, too. Cody Garbrandt is on there. Favored to win against Grant Callagher at plus 172. Should be a good stylistic matchup. But Cody's got such a glass chin now. I'm going to go Callagher to win. And the prelim, special fight, had one guy drop out, unfortunately. And we were all hoping one guy would fill in.
Yep. Diego Lopez does not get the nod. Bryce Mitchell gets it, which I like Bryce anyways. He's a minus 235 favorite over Josh Emmett, even on like a week's notice.
It should be a banger, but I'm going to lean towards Emmett myself.
Full camp. Yeah, I like Mitchell. He's going to win.
Should be a toss-up, though. Should be a great fight.
Yeah.
And the main card.
This is where things get juicy. Starting out with Ian Gary and Vincent Luque. Stylistically, very similar. Luque gets the edge in grappling, but he can still strike with the best. I give it to Luque.
I can't go against Gary until he loses. He's improved each and every fight so far. Keeps getting better. So until he messes up and catches one or gets tapped, I'm going to stick with Ian Machado Gary.
I also went with Luque, and it's solely because Ian Gary's a cuck.
Okay.
They do say there's one rule in the fight game. Never bet on a cuck.
Exactly.
I mean,
I don't even think that's a fight game. I
even
think
like
that's
stylistically, Luque has a better reach, which I don't think Gary's went up against somebody with a better reach.
Not to the extent of Luque.
His significant strike accuracy is only 2% lower. His takedown advantage is 1.04, or his average. Takedown accuracy, 60%. Sub average is 0.67. I mean, the ground game is there. He's smaller. He's going to be able to get inside, take him down. It's just going to be a new challenge that Ian Gary hasn't had to face yet.
I do love Luque. This is definitely Gary's best test yet, which is what he needs.
And
you know,
then-
a loss can still make you get better.
I did hear something about Luque. His wife's ex-husband is actually not living with him right now.
That does
So,
check out.
Yeah, which means he's in a lot better headspace, you know.
Or maybe that's just more motivation for Gary. Maybe he needs that.
And he also hasn't had to convert to being a vegan.
That we know of.
You know, all the cards are just falling his way.
Now another very polarizing fighter. Patty Pimblett back in the
Patty
octagon.
Batty versus Tony Ferguson.
Tony can't lose again, right?
I've
can.
got Patty.
He definitely can.
I have Tony.
Tony's so washed. Shouldn't be fighting. If you see his training camp, what is he doing?
He is going to be way too exhausted.
He should be. But if anybody could pull one crazy win out of their ass when they shouldn't, it is Tony.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Patty 330 favorite. Again, you guys know I'm not a big Patty fan. I don't think he's that good. But at this point in his career, Tony is easily beatable. As much as I want to take Tony, I want to see him win. I do think Patty takes this one. Hopefully not in a finish. I would hate to see Tony get knocked out by Patty.
I think he'll get subbed.
But Patty said, you know, really through this whole press thing, it's a lose-lose for him. If he wins, they say, oh, you beat up, watch Tony Ferguson. What's the
Yeah.
big deal? If he loses, no one's going to say, oh, you lost to a legend. They say, no, you lost to watch Tony Ferguson. So overall, props to him for even taking the fight, honestly. Gains
Just
a little
wants to
bit more of
fight.
my respect, I guess.
Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Stephen Thompson.
I'm stoked for this.
I think Shavkat destroys him.
Unfortunately, I agree, which sucks because
Yeah.
nobody wants to see Wonder Boy get beat up like that.
Now, Wonder Boy could catch him, but I just
He can, but Shavkat has been caught before, and it doesn't
he's
faze
so
him.
good,
Yeah,
man.
his chin's granite. Super well balanced. He should take him down. I mean, huge gap in the ground game there. But also incredible striking. This guy's future champion for sure.
If Ian Gary wins, is Wonder Boy his next target?
Should be the ex-husband.
If they've not been targeted before.
It should be, right? The
Dude.
gatekeeper?
Does anybody have a better gig than the ex-husband?
No.
Maybe the wife.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Fair point.
She's an author. She's married to a UFC fighter.
Rising star, making a ton of money.
She can eat whatever she wants.
She doesn't have to work.
Her ex.
There's no way the ex is working, though.
No.
He's living
that's
in
true.
Ian Gary's
Yeah.
house on a
Yes.
free ride.
Yeah,
playing Madden all day.
Yeah.
Just bashing pork rinds and chugging Mountain Dew.
Yeah, he's got it made.
God, what a life. Not to mention he's getting some on the side. Or maybe not the side. Maybe it's the main. Man, what a life.
I like to think Ian Gary has like a little bar stool propped up in the corner.
He just sleeps on a cot. Doesn't even get to be in bed. Oh, Lord. What?
Maybe a dog bed.
How did that get out? Did she admit? She admitted that, right?
Yeah, in the book.
Oh, man.
Yeah, somebody read her book finally.
Sean Strickland definitely heard about it.
Yeah.
Sean Strickland did the audiobook.
Sean Strickland actually was the one who made it news.
Well, of course. Who else?
He was in his truck that's like a beat down 1998 Chevrolet.
Of course.
And he's like, dude, you suck. You're a loser. Whatever. Your wife wrote a book about how to get with young athletes so they don't have
Well,
to work.
At first, he wasn't even calling him a loser. He's just like, hey, man, this is like actually not okay to happen, and you should understand that. And then Ian Gary was like, shut the hell up. Stop talking about my wife. So then Sean Strickland was like, okay, you're a loser. You're letting your wife have sex with your ex-husband.
It got all bad.
And that's why Sean Strickland is Shane's favorite fighter of all time.
It is.
Exactly.
Because who else is going to call someone a cuck in their beat up 2000 F-150?
Publicly.
Yeah.
The co-main. The co-main I'm stoked for.
Alexandre Pantoja versus Brandon Royval.
Super close odds. Should be a super close fight.
Should be.
Pantoja is so good after that last Moreno fight. stock at an all-time high, defending your belt here.
I like Pantoja.
Again, wouldn't be shocked either way. It should be very close, but I think Pantoja's incredible cardio, granite chin, will never stop throwing. Good enough ground defense if it goes there, but I don't think it will. Should be 5 rounds of absolute war. I think, we're on agreement. Pantoja defends his belt.
Yeah, I think we've been in agreement on everything except for Tony. And it's literally just because he can't lose again.
He will.
He won't.
He can lose, unfortunately.
Leon Edwards versus Colby Covington.
I've got Leon.
I've got Colby.
I also have Leon.
I think Colby goes on a last, final, brief championship run. Maybe he defends the title twice before he retires.
He ever fights again. Now, I want to talk about the entire division right here because they have not had a fight with the top 8 guys in the division in like 9 months.
Correct.
Completely on hold.
Now we're getting like 10 in the same night.
Finally do. Now, if it does go to the ground, Colby has the advantage, but Leon showed against Usman, he's no slouch.
No, I agree.
If you can get him down, his takedown defense is phenomenal.
Well, I also think Colby's a better striker.
No.
Yeah.
No, Colby striking's trash.
No.
I'm hoping for boom, head kick, dead, part 2.
I know. And you don't like Colby Covington.
I don't.
And that's why you're saying
I don't like Colby's character. 'Cause he's not actually like
No,
he's like
not.
Shane,
He's
playing a
playing
character.
bit. And the reason why is because he didn't sell fights before.
Yeah.
Now he's selling fights.
Very smart. If you want to
And he
promote
knew
stuff.
he had to take one for the team.
Yeah.
He had to. Conor McGregor started it. If there was no Conor McGregor, you would never have anybody like this.
Oh, you got the bad guy, Wesleyan gangster.
Yeah.
Undefeated,
But that's
undisputed.
different. That's different. Because nobody's on that level.
Well, never will be.
But, yeah, you would never have, like, Colby wasn't selling fights. They told him he needed to do something different. And he did. Now he's selling fights like crazy because people want to see him get knocked out.
Exactly. And I'm right in that camp.
And unfortunately, to guys like you, just doesn't happen.
We'll see.
Doesn't happen
I'm just glad to
regularly.
see some movement in the division and see Colby finally fight again. He's been so stagnant. I wouldn't give him a title shot right now anyway, but that's a whole other thing. Somebody's got to fill in, right?
Pretty much.
I didn't do a bet for the fights. We're going NFL. But I would just take probably 3. Doing all 6 is a lot. I would go Patty, Shavkat, Pantoja as your 3 I feel most comfortable with locking in. Now with that, how about a stick pick here, boys?
How about it? Austin, I think you're due.
I'll take that. Bucket getting more and more full by the day, almost overflowing.
We got to get a bigger bucket.
I'm gonna go through them all again and take out the ones I want to put in the eventual band art. We have got one of Shane's favorites, one of all our favorites, the Mafioso by Banff,
Good
which
luck.
I believe I just read they are now making into more full production, or at least the 2024 release, which I have to, we all have to get. How about our close but no cigar? Got to be Army Navy.
Yeah. Like, always entertaining.
Finally, some passing. I think Army had their first passing touchdown against Navy since like 2015.
Well, they just now started winning against Navy since they went on like a 20-year stretch where they played horribly.
It was rough. Yeah, Navy's definitely been the better program overall.
Yeah, we have a family Christmas thing on every Army-Navy game. And it's like where we go from house to house. I was telling you about it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's always scheduled for the Army. Like, we already have ours for next year because the Army and Navy is playing on December 14th.
Locked in, yeah.
So.
But came down to a literal close but no cigar. Navy stopped at the 1 foot line. Tried to run a tush push with 2 seconds left. No timeouts. Had to scramble to get in line. And came up just a little bit short.
Unfortunate.
So they were close.
But no cigar. Bums of the week.
A lot to choose from this week.
Bryce Young finally makes the cut.
Long overdue.
He's had many opportunities, but you always give the rookie the benefit of the doubt.
Until now.
Until now.
That was a tough game to watch. Speaking of tough games to watch, Vikings Raiders, the entire game. Both teams, bums of the week. 3-0 with no highlights.
At all.
Unless you count JJ getting hurt as a highlight. Josh Jobs getting benched. O'Connell playing like Aiden O'Connell. Not even like it was a great defensive battle. Guys weren't making crazy defensive plays. They just totally inept offenses.
Yeah, it was bad.
The Miami Dolphins. as mentioned earlier.
Again, bad. Just overall.
The new Bills, as you said.
Some would say.
In a kind of a must-win game, you choke a 14-point lead to the Titans and Will Levis.
Make Will Levis look like Tom Brady.
Or Tommy DeVito.
Or either or.
And last but not least, Shane, take away what should be our rightful winner in Bum of the Week.
I wrote down Kadarius Toney, but I believe the actual one is just the Chiefs in general.
No, we picked Kadarius Toney.
Was it?
Yeah.
That's what I wrote down. But yeah, the whole situation.
I'm just going to take a screenshot of that play
Yeah.
of him lined up off sides, and then people can assume what they want.
Yeah, I want to go Mahomes just because of the way he acted post-game, and it's still acting, but the root of the problem was Kadarius Toney.
If we see it happen again, do we think that we see a Patrick Mahomes hitting Kadarius Toney in the head with like his helmet?
No, I think Andy Reid publicly executes Kadarius Toney on the sideline.
I'd love to see it.
Well,
honestly.
something will happen along the lines of some sort.
A Grinch video-esque punishment.
What?
Both of you know what I'm
The
talking
video
about.
he took at Best Buy.
Which wasn't funny, and the viewers don't know what it means either.
You do
Inside
that.
jokes, if they're funny, can work. You know?
Like Wet Finger Haze.
Yeah, that's
that's
hilarious,
funny.
you know? We're all laughing about that, but
We're working on it.
a lot of crickets there, you know?
We're
You had a great
working on
show, though. So you're staying in
You did have a
character.
great show.
I appreciate that. Because Shane knows Shane could be Shane Gillis, honestly.
it. He could.
Comedically, he could just control the whole show from start to finish. But
He knows better.
his character is I gotta pull back, you know. And then my Ash for Cash, we all picked a game this week. Broncos plus 4.5 against Detroit. The Giants plus 6 in New Orleans. And then Shane's pick, Tampa Bay to win over Green Bay.
Love it.
$10 to win 92. Pretty
Love
good odds,
it.
actually. 2 dogs and a pick 'em.
Love it.
Shane, take us out of here, pal.
You know, as we like to say around here, S&S.
To
To the moon.